There you go.
Hey guys. Oh no, my step. Not again. I can't get in. I can't get out.
Damn, Carl, that's the third time this month, you fat.
Oh my God, she's so fat.
Don't say that's my cat. She's not fat. Her primordial pouch hangs low.
She's fat.
No.
I'm not fat, okay? I'm just really, really easy to see.
Better lie down right there. Woo! Shit. Oh, frickin' Christ, Biggie.
So I'm not one to talk politics. Never have been. I try to stay out of those conversations. I've always respected what everyone feels and thinks. I still do. But I don't think a lot of you understand what's happening in our country right now, mainly because most of you don't live in a sanctioned city. I live in Denver. So the people that are living in these sanctioned cities, we are slowly losing control of our cities, and the government's not doing anything. Governor Polis in Colorado, he is not doing anything about the apartment complex that has been taken over by Venezuelan gang members that have come over illegally. They have robbed 10 gun shops in Denver in the past month. They are strapping up, and this is just the first step. They're seeing what they can get away with. And so far, they've been in this apartment complex for almost a month. The police can't do anything about it. We haven't brought in reinforcements, and they're just living in this apartment complex they overtook, and no one's doing anything. What do you think they're going to do next? They're going to start overtaking more apartment complexes, more buildings, more facilities. What did our country think was going to happen when their time was up in the hotels we provided to them? I had a feeling they were going to start overtaking things, and that's what's starting to happen. It takes a lot to scare me. I've been to third world countries, never really been freaked out or nervous. Never thought that I would have to buy a gun to feel safe. And even when I get my gun in a couple days, I don't even know if I'll still feel safe, but at least I'll have a weapon. I've never been against guns, but I've also never thought that I'm going to need to buy a gun for safety. But here we are. Here we are. And if you don't live in a sanctioned city, I really, really encourage you to do some research and see what's happening to our country. I understand if you're a Democrat and you have your reasons, right? Abortion, you're pro-abortion and same-sex marriage. I'm fine with that. I understand we all have our own opinions and our beliefs, and that's important to a lot of you. But I hope you understand that although those are important topics when it comes to voting, if Trump or someone else is not in office other than Camila, whatever her name is, that stuff's not going to matter, because we will not have a country like we have now or have had. So it's not going to matter if abortion is legal or not. It's not going to matter if same-sex marriage is legal or not, because we're not going to have America anymore. It's not going to be the land of the free. It's not going to be what we have known our whole lives. We're living in a very scary time right now, and a lot of you just don't realize it, mainly because you're not in a sanctioned city, which is great. I'm honestly happy that you guys are not living in a sanctioned city. But for those of us that are, you really just need to pay attention to what's happening, because soon they're going to leave the sanctioned cities, and some of them already have and have gone to different states, cities. So if you think it's only going to happen in these sanctioned cities, you're very wrong. It's eventually going to spread, but this is where it's starting, and they are slowly taking over Denver. It's happening right before our eyes, and no one's doing anything about it. If I would get pulled over on the side of the road and had guns in my vehicle or pounds of marijuana or cocaine, guess who's getting arrested? Me. Obviously, it's illegal. I'm doing things I shouldn't be doing. But these people are coming in doing all sorts of illegal things and not getting arrested, not getting kicked out of the country. We're handing these people money. We're handing these people tools to find ways and make it possible for them to overtake certain places and cities. I'm very nervous. I have a hard time even falling asleep at night right now because that's how nervous I am. And that, again, that's not like me. I am not typically someone who gets nervous or afraid. Homeless people don't freak me out. You know, you see the people on the streets tweaking out from drugs. That stuff doesn't freak me out. What freaks me out is these Venezuelan gang members that are overtaking the city of Denver. And I know it's happening in other sanctioned cities. And I feel like half of the world, half of America, half of the United States doesn't understand what's happening. And that's what scares me the most, is that it's just not known that this is happening. So I just encourage you to do your research on what's happening right now. Venezuelan, it's actually a fact and known. You can find this online, that they emptied their prisons, which is where all of these gang members came from. It's actually a gang known in Venezuelan prison. That's who's in our country right now. It's not just Venezuelans that wanted a better life. They emptied their prisons out. Venezuelan, if you look up the facts right now, their murders have gone down 80% since our border opened. Where do you think they are? They're here. They're in America. Guys, again, I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care. I don't care. I respect it. But I'm telling you, being pro-abortion, same-sex marriage, I know all of that is important, but it is not going to matter because our world will go to shit. Our country is going to go to shit if we do not put someone back in as president like Trump. And I'm not a diehard Trump person. I never have been. I think he can be arrogant, says stupid shit, but what's happening right now is not okay. It's not okay. So I would really just encourage you guys to do your research. Democrat, Republican, whatever your views are. Right now, I don't think that matters. I don't think it matters if we're Democrat, Republican. We need to all come together as one to fix what's happening in our country. Because if we don't, we're not going to have one to then vote Democrat or Republican. It's not going to matter because we're not going to have, it's just mind blowing that this is happening and no one's doing anything about it. I'm being led to buy a gun just to feel safe. That's crazy. That's crazy. So please just do your research, guys. Be woke. I guess that's a term that these young people are using, be woke. But seriously, wake up because you and your kids are eventually not going to be safe if this continues. So yeah, guys, I mean, I don't even have anything else to say. I just really felt led to share something that's going on in Denver because I feel like so many people don't realize what is happening. And if Denver doesn't start doing something, or these other sanctioned cities, I know New York City is a huge issue right now too. Americans will not have control over these cities soon. I mean, it's getting to the point where like the people in Denver are going to all leave. And then it's going to be these Venezuelan people, these immigrants running these cities, and then eventually states. Like, I don't know what the future holds, but I can tell you it's not good if things don't change.
Well, I think she's right. You know, just so much of this is very clear to see. You know, the difference is can this be fixed? Will this be fixed? You know, and I think that it can and will be happening. Yeah, literally just crazy. You know, just okay. So let's head over to what'd you guys think of that cat? The fat cats. I thought that was good. I thought the fat cat was all right. All right. Let's think mirror. Yeah. I hate it when they do that. No context. Yeah, that's interesting that this map is showing Chicago mirrored as Jerusalem. Monday, August 19th, the DNC convention in Chicago, or maybe not. So I'm going to mute that, play it. And think mirror. Yeah. Weird stuff. Atlanta is not a real place. Grand Theft Auto in real life.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
Stop! I'm tasing!
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh. Oh, shit.
I'm crying, babe. Okay,
Yeah. Yep.
You don't need Bob, you don't need Paul, you don't need Peter, you don't need Cephas, you don't need Elvis. You don't need Elvis, you need Jesus. You don't need Elvis, you need Jesus.
It's that simple. It's that simple. You don't need Peter. You don't need Paul. You don't need Cephas. You don't need Elvis. What you need is Jesus. Yep. Tacoma police run over a protester, says Jack. Here we go. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're out there riding on the streets. You deserve to get run over. It's that simple. You're out there in the middle of the road in big groups of people trying to stop the police from doing their job, then you know what? You deserve to get run over. Yep. Here we go. Incoming stitch.
Girl, where is that a wig?
This ain't no wig. I've been going to the same salon for 38 years, and I ask for this specifically. This haircut says success. This haircut says Spectrum News in the front, Fox News in the back. I'm respected in my hometown. You can call it a bust down, but I call it a bob meets a she mullet. So if you got something to say, you say it to my fuck-ass Bob Shullet.
We got a few funnies. We got a few funnies mixed in today. A few. Well, we got some serious stuff too. So here we go. This speech will change your life.
Most people, the bottom 80%, are lazy. And it's something that it's not polite to talk about. And they're surrounded by people who think the same way. You know, as much as 95% of your thinking is determined by the people that you associate with on a regular basis. If you associate with people who don't work hard, don't learn, socialize after work, then you become like them. You think like them, you talk like them, you dress like them, you marry them. And so you're married to someone who also has no ambition. And you raise children, and your children have no ambition. Just go to work and complain about your work. But top people associate with other top people. There is what you've heard about the law of attraction. And the law of attraction says that if you change the way you think, you start to attract new people into your life. If you become aggressive about personal development and personal growth, you start to meet other people who think the same way. And the old groups of people that you associated with fall away, and the new group of people appears. So people say, well, where do I find positive people who are thinking about success all the time? First you become one, and then you'll naturally attract it.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say that the bottom 80% is lazy, because obviously they're going to fucking work and buying your fucking products. But the rest of the stuff that he said is pretty spot on. The people that you associate with is the direction in which your life is going to go. You know, it's just a fact. If you're around people who just have no ability to look for a better future, then you're gonna live a life of misery. You know, but some people that's what they want. They want to live in misery. It's easier to live in misery than it is to live in joy, even though we're going through a hard time and everything. There's a point where we have to say that you know what, I'm going to express my joy. I'm going to rejoice today. I'm going to rejoice, you know, and I'm going to share that with my Father in heaven, and he's going to rejoice with me, even though I'm struggling, even though things are hard, even though I don't have all the things that I need in order to survive properly. That's what it boils down to. Our joy is found in ourselves, not in those that are around you. You get to share your joy with those around you, but they're not the ones who make your joy. Only you can lift yourself up out of that misery. And you just have to, you know, you have to look past the things that you're experiencing sometimes and find that little bit of peace, a little bit of happiness, and a little bit of joy, and it'll expand. It'll grow. You'll begin to find yourself finding new ways to do things, new ways to accomplish things, you know, new ways to discover more about yourself. You know, it's not hard. It's just, you know, uh, it's just sometimes it's easier just to stay where you're at, you know. But the thing is I will not live in misery. Now, my life ain't hunky dory. I don't have the things that I need, but I have the things that the Lord has provided me with, and I try to make absolutely the best of it. I got you guys, and we make the best of it every chance we get, every time we get together. You know, yeah, we learn a whole bunch of stuff together, but then we get to laugh with each other. You know, it's just the way things go. All right. Shadow of Ezra says, is Candace Owens correct in claiming that Israel is a safe haven for pedophiles? Yeah, let's consider the case of one of the most notorious pedophiles, Jeffrey Epstein, who in 2008 fled to Israel while facing jail time for raping children alongside Bill Clinton and others on his island.
The last time we saw Jeffrey Epstein in West Palm Beach was September 6th of last year. He was getting off his private jet at PBIA to huddle with lawyers, fighting charges he used his mansion in Palm Beach for sexual escapades with girls under 18. Reliable sources tell us he'll report for a 1.5-year term in prison in Florida in June, then face a year probation. The fact that Epstein was allowed to travel to Israel reflects his vast business interests around the world, according to someone close to the case. But allowing someone soon to be imprisoned on felony charges to leave the country is highly irregular. That, according to investigative journalist John Connolly, who has covered the Epstein scandal from day one.
In most instances where people are facing criminal time and because a plea agreement has been made or they're under arrest for serious charges, they are forced to surrender their passport. And apparently, Mr. Epstein has not been forced to do that.
The fact that the court ordered Epstein not to have contact with underage girls may indicate that Epstein will be labeled a sex offender. That is something his vast stable of high-powered attorneys have been fighting. Sources tell us that Epstein will likely report to a state prison with modern internet facilities so that he can do business from behind bars. It's been more than 3 years now since Palm Beach police started investigating Jeffrey Epstein. Reporter Connolly says money has bought him time.
I've always been a bit shocked by the way the state prosecutor has handled this case from the get-go. Historically, the police have asked for arrest warrants and been given them. In this case, because of apparently some very high-powered attorneys, they've treated Mr. Epstein much differently.
Yep. The guy literally got away with rape and murder. Yep. All right. Every single American is asking themselves this question.
Quick question. Please tell me how illegal immigrants are more important than the Americans. Please tell me how illegal immigrants are more important than homeless people sleeping on the streets. Please tell me how the illegal immigrants are more important than veterans who serve this country so we can have the freedoms that we have today. I'm talking to one of you liberals, you crybaby Gen Zs. I'm talking to anybody who thinks that it's okay to put tampons in 8th grade boys' bathrooms. I'm talking to you. Oh, yeah, and all the black people who mad because I'm supporting Trump. Fuck out of here.
Yep. All right.
Sitting in the parking lot of the grocery store where I just checked out for $249. $249. And I got the little cart. The little fucking cart. It wasn't even the big one. I have 8 bags back there. What the fuck costs $249? You know, back when Trump was in office, I could have filled up one of those big carts with $249 worth of food, and it would have lasted like 2 weeks. This will be gone in like 4 days. Fuck. Y'all really need to consider who you vote for before you put him in office. Because this bullshit, I never struggled like this with groceries. This is rough. This ain't shit. Bring back Trump. Fuck you, Joe Biden, and all this bullshit. Sitting in the parking lot.
Yeah. People's getting mad. I see you, John Edward X. Young.
Good morning, Patriots. It is I,
Edward X. Young, the world's greatest Trump supporter. And if you know what I'm talking about, I may be somebody else. If you know, you know. Anyhow, I'm here. I'm here on this Saturday morning, August 17, 2024, at 7:50 a.m., although I was here since yesterday. I'm here in front of the Mohegan Sun Arena, where I will be attending my 84th Trump rally. My first time seeing him since Bedminster. I'm here with a whole bunch of people. This is going to be great. And remember, well, first say hello, Mike. Turn around. Mike is here.
Hello, guys. I'm here. Whoop, whoop. Hold on, the hat's a little. There we go.
Now remember, where we go one, we go all.
That's right. Where we go one, we go all.
He's definitely a lot more believable in possibly being junior than anybody else I've seen. So always possibility. But we don't know, right? Look here, not there. They want you divided by design.
All this trans stuff, all this, it's all come from the top down. It doesn't come from the bottom up. I figured this out when I saw that Larry Fink, the head of BlackRock, talk about enforcing ESG and DEI. And so that's because those companies are the ones who are raping the planet and screwing everybody. But then they stick a gay pride flag on what they're doing so they can wrap themselves in a patina of virtue. And that's all that is. And that's coming. And it's also great because it keeps us divided. So if we're fighting over bathrooms and people competing in sports and swimming and all that, then we're not, our eyes off the ball. Right. Our eyes off the $200 or $600 billion they're sending to the military-industrial complex in an upward transfer of wealth. We're not talking about the CARES Act, the largest. We're not talking about things that actually matter, that people are still living under bridges. People don't have health care that doesn't bankrupt them. People can't go bankrupt just trying to go to college. People don't have a decent, 80% of workers living paycheck to paycheck. Half the country can't afford a $500 emergency. All that shit. We're not talking about any of that stuff if we're talking about all that other stuff.
Yep. Distractions. The leftist loses it.
Francesca, just on that point, what crime did Trump commit?
Oh, that didn't work. Try it again.
Trump commit?
It was financial crimes. It was white collar crimes. That is exactly what they charged him. He was convicted on.
What was the crime?
It's New York State law.
I understand. What was the crime?
It is New.
Francesca,
I don't even like it. It is
hang on,
he just got convicted on 34 counts.
Francesca, what was the crime?
Of like cooking the actual books.
What was the crime?
You are not allowed. So you are not allowed to use your own financial, like your own money to pay off somebody. And then he logged it as something different. He logged it as just a regular payment, but he was actually paying off this porn star to keep quiet, which if he hadn't been running for president would not have mattered, but he was. And so it impacted campaign finance laws in New York State. Okay, that is what Juan Merchan just oversaw this. Alvin Bragg brought these charges because Michael Cohen, his sister, was already sentenced to 3 years to do it.
Let's just go before Kevin. I'll be very, very, very patient. We'll come to you.
Look, I'm no expert. Let me just say, hang on.
Michael,
you are no expert.
By the way.
The campaign finance law is a federal law.
Hang on,
anyway.
Francesca. I want to go to Mark. You're the lawyer. Is anything Francesca just said, is that actually the crime?
Look, let me just say, I like Francesca a lot. And we probably agree on 80% of our worldviews. However, Francesca, the way you just described it, call me afterwards and I'll educate you, because that's not what happened. There was no theory that was given to the jurors. The jurors were told it could have been campaign finance, it could have been tax, it could have been false books. They were told they didn't have to specify, and specifically told they did not have to agree unanimously. That's what irks me. Lifelong Democrat, no fan of Trump, never voted for Trump, never will. But I will tell you, as somebody who has spent his entire career kind of taking on unpopular causes and holding the government accountable, I have to tell you, I do that for a reason. And the reason is this kind of shenanigans, and that's the best light I can spin it, in the criminal courts has no place in a federal election.
Yeah, Jessica just got told by another Democrat that she's, yeah. All right, Salty Goat says Robert De Niro just got suspended from X. That is a good Sunday vibe right there. It's about time the left learns you don't get to spew crap and call for violence all day long without consequences. Y'all join me in saying bye-bye to this pile of human garbage. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, Robert. Yeah. Poor guy. Oh, so sad. Yeah, it's Mike R says the left will be having a candlelight vigil in a moment of silence at the DNC. Yeah. All right. I mean, therefore, I am breaking British patriot Wayne O'Rourke has been charged and sentenced to 3 years in prison for publishing material on his X account to stir up racial hate. The sentencing judge, Catherine Sigulin Knight, is the same judge who spared teenager Rain Hempworth from jail after he was caught in possession of more than 1,300 indecent videos of young children. Most of the images were of children aged between 3 and 5 years old. Knight said Hempworth was suitable for rehabilitation, handing him a 3-year community order instead. Yeah. All right. Dr. Robert Malone says it's almost DNC Day. In preparation, the convention has set up abortion and vasectomy mobile units and even has a giant IUD on display. Not a meme, folks. This is for real, as reported by the New York Post. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. The general says breaking, according to GPS tracking data, at least 53,411 foreign Antifa and 21,034 domestic Antifa are already gathering in Chicago to create chaos during the Harris Walls DNC. Well, speaking of Antifa, Antifa thought this old man was sweet because of the gray hair. Whoops. Turn that music down so we don't get in no trouble for that. Yeah. Antifa decided they were going to try and push an old man around, and the old man showed them what to, how to, and where to. That old man just kept coming back. And that cop just sitting there. He's not even doing nothing. That guy's like, all right, you got this, officer? You got this? Okay, I'm stepping out of the way. You got this. You got this. Yeah. Yeah. It's coming. Slowly but surely. Stolen Valor Act of 2013. Tim Walt need to learn about this.
The Stolen Valor Act of 2013 is a federal law that makes it illegal to falsely claim to have received certain military awards in order to gain money, property, or other benefits. The law was passed by the 113th United States Congress and signed by President Barack Obama on June 3rd, 2013. The law protects military awards such as the Congressional Medal of Honor, Distinguished Service Cross, Navy Cross, Air Force Cross, Silver Star, Purple Heart, Combat Action Badge, and Combat Action Ribbon. It also makes it illegal to fraudulently wear medals, embellish rank, or lie about military service to obtain employment, discounts, or other benefits. The law includes a caveat that the lies must result in some kind of tangible benefit before they can be considered illegal. This helps to focus the law on fraudulent activity that isn't protected by the First Amendment.
Verified documents show the Army corrected his service record. Walls was reduced in rank to an E8 Master Sergeant after retirement and his conditional promotion. Alpha News again asked Governor Walz if he's using the Command Sergeant Major rank on his campaign website for political gain this year.
It's stolen valor is really what it is. I don't know of anybody else that's done
what he's done.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Listen up. If you're voting for Kamala or Donald for any reason but policy, then you're wasting your vote.
Or give our vote to the Democratic Party just because they stoke fear in us or they're Democrats. We got to get off the plantation. That's why I'm independent, because we need policies that are going to represent our community. We fear no one. No president has ever saved us. We have endured the most trauma in this country, and yet we can't ask for policy. The Asians stand up and they get anti-Asian hate bills. Israel stepped up and y'all are pro-Israel. Palestinians are fighting each and every day for folks to be pro-Palestine. But when George Floyd happened, what did we get? Nothing. All these Democratic shields like D.L. Hughley and Ricky Smiley and Buttermilk Biscuit Dance and Roland Martin, all they want to do is stoke fear in us, but they don't want to put policies to make us vote for the Democrats. We got to stop being fooled. We've already lived Project 1619 to Project 2024. We got the lowest wealth and the racial wealth gap, the lowest home ownership rate, the lowest literacy rate. We can go on down the line with the trauma Black people still face in this country today. So why would we be scared of Project 2025? Trump was nowhere to be found when all these laws were put in place. Stop stoking fear in us and give us policy. And I don't care what you say, we deserve it.
All right. So, I want to state that, I actually commented in this and I said, let's be clear. Project 2025 was done by the Heritage Foundation. Trump denounced it multiple times, and he clearly stated Agenda 47 is what he sees for America's future. The fact that the media have been spinning this BS just goes to show they are more worried about getting caught for their own corruption than see Americans succeed. Facts. That's it. You respond with facts. That's all you got to put out there is just facts.
Who is the Pope? He is the Emperor of Rome. Rome never died, never faded away. It became the Vatican. What is the Vatican? It is the priesthood of all of the old pagan religions of Rome, built upon the deception that they are Christian. Can man change the orders of God? Can man elevate himself above God? No. Then why did the Pope change the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday, the venerable day of the worship of the sun Osiris? Why in the outer courtyard of the Vatican is there a temple of the sun, an obelisk, and a reflecting pool built as a fountain around the base of the obelisk? Because what we're talking about in Dealey Plaza and in Washington, D.C. exists also in the Vatican. And I'm not trying to insult Catholics, I'm just trying to tell you the truth.
Yep. Wall Street Paper says Louisville, Kentucky people are going around asking for people's DNA and paying them cash for it. Uh-oh.
So apparently there's some really crazy shit happening in Louisville, Kentucky, where people are going around asking for people's DNA and paying them cash for it. These people are going around in an unmarked white van and asking for people to give them DNA swabs for cash. The people are saying that they work for a healthcare company, but a news crew in Louisville actually contacted the healthcare company and they said they would not do something like this. It just seems extremely sketchy. Giving your DNA away for cash is just an extremely sketchy thing to do in the first place, because these people could use it to plant at crime scenes. They could use it for just all kinds of different illicit activities. Here's the letter stating that this company is not asking for DNA, that these people aren't associated with them. I'm not really sure why these people would want mouth swabs from people. I don't know if it's some sort of under the table study. Whatever it is, it's really sketchy. Don't just give your DNA away for money. What do you guys think that these people are doing? Let me know your thoughts on this one, because it's just weird.
Well, you never know. All right. The shocking 20th ping in Manhattan for either Pakistani assassination bagman or Trump hitman released. Were Urich and Hooper Trump hitmen from the start, and now they're being recast as federal agents. Oh boy.
Okay, hello everybody, George Webb, the 20th ping, the 20th ping. We had the 19 pings, we went to most of those. The Crooks pings, these are the Crooks devices that ping all over Pittsburgh. They ping in Butler, a couple of them ping in, one pings in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Another ping goes to Washington, D.C. But now, Heritage Foundation Oversight Project.
Oh, crap, 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 crap. I didn't mean to do that. Hang on. Dang nabbit. Dang nabbit. Danger nabbit. Why is that acting weird? I did something here. Hang on, guys. I think I got it back. All right, I'm going to start this one over. Sorry about that.
Okay, hello everybody, George Webb, the 20th ping, the 20th ping. We had the 19 pings, we went to most of those. The Crooks pings, these are the Crooks devices that ping all over Pittsburgh. They ping in Butler, a couple of them ping in, one pings in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Another ping goes to Washington, D.C. But now, Heritage Foundation Oversight Project has released the 20th ping. It's pretty obvious why they withheld it now. It pings to Manhattan, and that is in 2023, where the bagman, the Pakistani ISI bagman, the guy paying to blow up Trump and shoot Trump, is potentially meeting, the bagman is potentially meeting with two snipers, according to the court case in Eastern District of New York. Okay, well, Crooks is not involved at that point, so the only people who could be pinging that, unless Crooks went up with them in the white van, but it looks like Hooper or Urich or maybe even the Iranian start that first ping in 2023. Interestingly enough, the Oversight Project doesn't say when the ping was in Manhattan, and if it's coterminous with one of the hitman meetings with the bagman. They say he's Iranian, he's really Pakistani ISI, he just had an Iranian wife. But this 20th ping has certainly added a lot to the mix. I don't know why it didn't come out before, but it's out there now. And this really puts a lot of credibility into the white man theory that these guys are driving the white van around. They're actually FBI informants. They're posing as Antifa activists. And they arrest the guy the day before the Trump assassination. And they're there the day of the Trump assassination. Are they the CERT team? Well, we may have blown that case open today too. Are they the CERT team from Pennsylvania? And they let the assassination roll. They let the assassination roll.
Ooh, they let it roll. Yep. Just it makes you, the more he finds, the more he's intertwining these individuals and really showing that there was definitely more than one shooter, that there was definitely a conspiracy afoot in regards to have this happen. And I think that we're going to all learn a lot about this. George Webb has been an investigative journalist for like 20 years. So he's no joke. He's not somebody who has gone to the wayside of the regular mainstream media that basically just goes with the 4 a.m. talking points. So we have to look at this and we have to understand that there is a lot more than Thomas Crooks in this. Actually, I showed a video about a week ago, maybe a little bit longer than a week ago, of Crooks's dad leaving with an individual who was hooded and covered from head to toe, while dad is walking around in a button-up short sleeve shirt and shorts. The kid is completely covered from head to toe, completely masked, hooded, everything. I think Crooks is alive. I think that is Crooks. And I think that they were using him and the fact that he's going through a transition right now, because Crooks gets to come out as a girl now. He gets to come out as a girl. He's disappeared. No different than how Anderson Cooper's sister disappeared, and then all of us, or brother disappeared, and then all of a sudden Kathy Griffin turns up on the scene. Yeah, so much is going on here, and we have to recognize the deceptions that are being played out in front of us. Yeah. These demands violate Brazilian, Argentina, and U.S. law. All right. Global Government Affairs says we have received further demands for censorship and for the personal account information of our users, impacting not just Brazilians, but residents of the United States and Argentina. We share those here in the interest of essential transparency. And, basically they go into these are the accounts that we want. And you're going to give us all that information. And here's the mandate, ordering it. And it'd be nice if they put them up there in English, but they don't, because that would be too easy to do. It would be too easy for people to see things, Candace Owens broke the internet by claiming that the Zionists are not the only, or are not the original Jews, but are actually demon worshippers. Here we go.
Many moons ago, before they decided to establish Israel as a country. I know you've read like the short version in the classroom, and it was like, oh, the Holocaust happened, and then we realized that Israel needs a state. No, that's not how it went down. That's not how it went down at the F all, okay? Catholics and Christians were going missing on Passover, and then they would find bodies, okay, across Europe, and they were able to trace them back to Jews. Blood libel. They weren't Jews, okay? These were Frankists. And so just like Leo Frank killed Mary Fagan on Passover back in 1913 or 1914, I can't remember the exact date, he did it during Passover for a reason. This Frankist cult, which is masquerading behind Jews, still participates in this shit to this day, okay? Why would you want, as a small nation that is the size of New Jersey, okay, why would you want the pedophiles to flee there? Like, why would you want the pedophiles to be procreating? Unless the nation of Israel may have been established by some Frankists. And it's looking like Theodore Herzl's family was from the exact same area in Moravia and in Bohemia where the Frankist cult was founded. Crazy when you get into his family, that like maybe Theodore Herzl, who wrote in a book that he didn't care how many Jews had to die for him to get the state of Israel, like maybe he was not actually a Torah worshiping Jew. Like, I don't know. I'm just throwing out some ideas here. And by throwing out some ideas, I mean, I've read a ton of books and I've figured it out. Okay. I am just like so over the idea that Israel is our ally and friend. If another person says that stupid statement, I'm going to personally punch you in the face. I am. It's going to be me. That's a joke. Don't take this video off of Twitter. Wink.
You don't know how to wink, girl? What's wrong with you? All right, Truth Seeker 01011.
Every time I turn on the news to see what is happening in Canada as we travel through the United States, another bill is being passed, a bill completely useless to the Canadian people and actually helping their lives. And this time, Bill C-226 was passed. If you're wondering what Bill C-226 is, it's an environmental racism bill. And if you're like, what is environmental racism? Well, let's look at the word salad that they're going to use to try and convince you that the environment now is racist, when in fact it's the big corporations. And all of this could be solved much easily than them putting in bills and passing laws and also making committees to solve said problem, when they haven't even solved the fact that the Indigenous communities in Canada don't have clean drinking water that Justin Trudeau has been promising for the last 9 years. But unfortunately, he sent that money overseas to be money laundered in a fake war. But let me just show you what Bill C-226 is. Here we are. Bill 226 mandates a national strategy to tackle environmental racism consultation with Indigenous, Black, and other racialized communities. And this was presented by none other than Elizabeth May, the leader of the Green Party. And according to the World Economic Forum, this is exactly what environmental racism is and how to fight it. Apparently, environmental racism is a form of systemic racism whereby communities of color are disproportionately burdened with health hazards through policies and practices that force them to live in proximity to sources of toxic waste such as sewage works, mines, landfill, power stations, major roads, and emitters of airborne particulate matter. Now, I 100% agree. Nobody should be living near toxic waste or anything that is toxic to the environment. But why aren't we asking the questions, why are these large corporations allowed to dump toxic waste within a population? And why are they not mandated to recycle anything that they have done? Why is it that we as citizens now have to give up our vehicles, which is what these laws will actually put into place, because they want to decrease the pollution in cities? And we all know what they're going after, right? But it's really funny that nobody is going after these large corporations, especially Coca-Cola, who's the #1 polluter of plastics in oceans. They're allowed to still make and produce Coke, right? But none of us are allowed to say, hey, let's shut them down, because there's absolutely no need for Coca-Cola products since they're absolutely unhealthy and damage everything. But yet they want to take away your vehicles and so forth. Now, on the subject of Elizabeth May, those of you who don't know who she is, let me show you. Elizabeth May, ladies. Oh, wait, I actually have a more recent picture. Elizabeth May, the Green Party leader. Now, if you don't know who she really is, let me just show you a little clip of a talk where she was welcoming Omar Khadr back, a terrorist who was actually held at Guantanamo Bay, that Justin Trudeau decided, hey, you know what? It's not worth fighting him in court because it's waste of taxpayers' money, but he will fight the trucker protests in court for years. Why? Because he's a pussy. This isn't the only unhinged
from
thing she has
former
said.
black and white TV shows that you never thought your kids would ever see, and they're running through your head. Like every now and then I wake up thinking, but Lisa, you've got to wait. Lisa, I wake up thinking about a horse is a horse, of course, of course. This morning I wake up thinking this. Why am I thinking this? Do you guys wonder? Lisa, hang on. Do you wonder why you're thinking that? Wait, you know what? Do you guys remember the theme song? Welcome back. Who knew Cotter was spelled Khadr? Welcome back, Omar Cotter. It matters to say it. Welcome back, Omar Cotter. You're home. There's a lot unusual about your speech, Liz, but we're going to take off. Omar Cotter.
Yeah, that's Elizabeth May welcoming back a terrorist that the Canadian government allowed out of prison and then gave him $10 million because they said it would have been a waste of taxpayers' money to fight this guy in court. But yet they're fighting 2 Canadian citizens in the longest trial for mischief for the trucker protest. And they're also suing doctors for standing up against AHS, which is the Alberta Health Services. And they're spending who knows how many thousands of dollars on those trials of tax money. Yeah, this is the Canadian government, complete puppets. And they have been completely sold out to the World Economic Forum and the UN. And the way they're saying that they will fight this environmental racism is by giving money to certain groups so that they can get out of their situation. They're not saying they're going to stop the dumping of toxic things. They're saying that they're going to give money. And they're also going to try and stop the toxic dumping. But we all know that in urban settings, that means they're going to take away your cars because they have been trying to take cars away for many years now, including California saying that they will make gas-powered vehicles illegal to sell after the year 2035. So what is this bill really about?
Yeah. What is this bill really about? Yeah. Trump rally, Butler, Pennsylvania, white van parked by Sheets, towed away. Oops, I wanted to go here. There we go. Turn off the music. And that's the van that people are claiming wasn't a van. Yeah. Yep. All right. I'm not going to say I love this guy, but he's much like conservative Ant. he covers some good things. Here we go.
Thrown at. Did I call it or did I call it? You guys, I am ahead of the fucking game, okay? I'm not listening to what's being thrown at me. I'm looking at the trend, right? And what did I say in a video a couple of days ago? That Kamala's party, that her campaign is going to crash and burn. And guess what? It's already starting. Oh, CNN for the past couple of months, for the past year, ripping Donald Trump to shreds. And just yesterday, what does that headline say there? Oh, she conveniently forgot that she was the vice president for the last 4 years when the housing market crisis was at its worst. Really, CNN? Wow. Well, let's look at another headline. The Washington Post. The Times demands serious economic ideas while Harris supplies gimmicks. Oh, okay. How about another one? Give me another one. This is another one from the Washington Post. When your opponent calls you a communist, maybe don't propose price controls. And how about this little beauty? Harris's plan to stop price gouging could create more problems than it solves. Oh, baby, I love being right. I'm telling you guys that by October, it's going to be the cool thing to vote for Trump. Oh, yes. And I started the motherfucking trend. Oh, how about the New York Post? Let's see what it says. Communism. Harris unveils budget-breaking $1.7 trillion, an economic plan that includes government price controls. Oh, how the tides have turned so quickly. Told you so. I told you guys. And it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And just wait until what I revealed about Tim Walz yesterday starts coming out and starts gaining momentum. You guys, on this page, we're ahead of the curve. We're ahead. So what's the lesson in all this? Listen to Rigo. Listen to Rigo. I'm telling you. You guys, it's happening much faster than I anticipated, but it's going to happen. And I'm telling you that come November, it's going to be too big to rig. And also, it's going to probably be the biggest landslide in election history, going red. So I love you guys. Happy Saturday. If something else comes up, I'll make sure to post it. Until then, I love you so much. And let me know in the comments below how you're feeling about all this.
Well, Rigo, I have to tell you that you're not ahead of the curve. We've been talking about this stuff for going on 6 years. We knew what was going to happen. We've talked about what was going to happen. We predicted what was going to happen. But you're ahead of the curve for people just waking up. And I give you credit for that. So that I will do. Yeah. All right. Wisconsin voters.
I'm leaning towards Trump.
And why is that?
A lot of the stuff Kamala says is kind of like what Trump has said, like no taxes on tips was something that was kind of reiterated by Trump beforehand. She's just kind of been caught up in a lot of lies. I'm leaning towards Trump.
Yeah. She's been caught up in a lot of lies. Yeah. All right, women hold the portal to access the physical world. That's the true meaning of the Egyptian Ankh. But understand that just because you hold the portal to access this world, it only happens with the seed of a man. Here we go. Oh, why isn't it playing? Oh, geez. I hate it when it does that.
Gain access to the physical world. That's what the Egyptian Ankh is. It's the portal. The Egyptians wore the headdress to symbolize the woman because they are the master builders, which creates the human temple. The human body is formed by the astral forces of the 12 zodiac inside of the womb. That's why your body's made out of 12 cell salts, which are from the 12 zodiac signs. She harnesses the energies of the 7 planets and the 12 constellations to manifest your body. She is a womb man, and she is feminine, which is 9. He is masculine, which is line, 0 and 1, the binary code of all creation. That's why there's 10 numbers. She is curvy, he is liney, because everything's geometry, which is God's codes to the simulation. You are a soul, an astral entity in a physical body. When the male finishes in the woman, this creates a portal in the astral plane. SEX is a ritual, and if you do not do the ritual high vibrationally, you will attract a low vibrational astral entity to be incarnated in the physical plane. Every person you have SEX with, you have an astral emotional bond with that person. If you want a high vibrating soul to enter the physical plane as your child, you need to do the ritual properly. Never engage in one-night stands. This is a form of magic. If you drink alcohol, you're drinking magic potions which invoke spirits. And yes, the earth is a flat plane.
He had to throw that in. The earth is flat. Failed socialism. Here we go.
I ask you as a Native American, you've already placed us on reservations. Why place the rest of the country on one? My name is Michaela LeRae. I was born in Bishop, California, and I'm a member of a Southern California Native American tribe. In 1989, Native American activist Russell Means sat before the Senate, and he boldly paraphrased, if you want to see
an example of failed socialism, go to an Indian reservation.
If you go to Indian reservations these days and in the past, you will see impoverished reservations living in third world conditions, and they are a product of a dependent lifestyle, dependent on a government to appropriate funds correctly to them. That is what socialism is. That is where socialism will take us. And it will create a dependent society to where we have no independence anymore on what we can do and what we can't do. The government programs that are in place now to help the Native American, they didn't even need to be there in the first place. If they had let us keep our land and let us keep our way of life, we could have flourished as a people. But instead, the government thought it was best to place us on reservations and strip all of our freedoms away one by one. And now we are dependent on those programs. Many of us have become addicted to the federal wallet. We sit and wait for the whims of appropriations from Congress. And unfortunately, that's killing us. To increase the tens of billions of dollars that we already have going towards Native American programs, which there are a lot, how would that solve anything at this point? These programs have been in place for a long time, and yet we still can go to a reservation today and ask them if they have running water. No. Electricity? No. Sewage? Quality healthcare? Quality education? All of these things are missing. So how much more money and how many more programs do we need before we find our self-determination and start fixing these things on our own? Government programs, more programs, that's not the answer. The answer is independence in every way of life.
Yep. Independence. Yep. We already seen that one. But seeing that there's some people here who didn't see it, I'm going to play it again.
Okay, come on. There you go.
Hey guys. Oh no, my step. Not again. I can't get in. Can't get out.
Damn, Carl, that's the third time this month, you fat.
Oh my God, she's so fat.
Don't say that's my cat. She's not fat. Her primordial pouch hangs low.
She's fat.
No.
I'm not fat, okay? I'm just really, really easy to see.
Better lie down right there. Oh, shit. Oh, frickin' Christ, Biggie.
That cat just broke the chair. I mean, seriously. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Kamala Harris, and that's exactly what she got. And I think Tim Walz has to answer for this. There's a man in Minnesota, a criminal named Mayan Burrell, and some people might know his story because Mayan Burrell is a Bloods criminal street gang member. I charged the Bloods in a more recent case. But Mayan Burrell shot and killed an 11-year-old girl who was doing her homework on her kitchen table in Minneapolis. He was convicted, and he did almost 20 years in prison. And after he maintained his innocence, which he definitely wasn't, Guess who commuted his sentence? Tim Walz commuted his sentence. And not long after being off of probation for 3 months, this criminal, Mayan Burrell, got picked up for having drugs and a gun in his car.
Oh, God.
And guess who bailed him out? Because he was set free. Guess who bailed him out? The Minnesota Freedom Fund, the same fund that Kamala Harris was soliciting funds for during the riots.
Wow.
So at this point, the Democrat Party, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris have to answer for that. So does my Democrat opponent, Angie Craig.
Yep. There will be repercussions, I think, and it's going to, it's going to be something else. Here we go.
Democrats say they're willing to wait for the rest, telling Politico, quote, they rather lay out a specific plan post-November when a potential president-elect, Harris, would have to staff up her administration and determine her governing priorities. Our next guest led an effort for Biden to run in 2016 and later advised Bernie Sanders, but left the Democratic Party last year and switched to become a Republican. Will Pierce joins us now. So I want to get to your story eventually, but the Democratic Party is saying in Politico that we may not know everything about Kamala Harris, but let's elect her first, and then she'll tell us what she's about.
And that's, first of all, thanks for having me on, but that's ridiculous. This is the thing. She's been vice president for how many years? She's been the border czar. We know her record. If you want to look at her record, you look at California. If you want to know Walz's record, you look at Minnesota as well. You see all the terrible things that they've done. If you want to look as well at the Democratic record, right now we're in Chicago. You have terrible crime going on. You have the illegal immigrations running rampant around the city while the citizens are not being taken care of.
Yeah, so tell me about this, because when it comes to the Democratic Party, it looks like a lot of brothers, a lot of black voters are leaving, black male voters are leaving the Democratic Party. What do you think is the number one issue? Why?
Too many issues to name. But I think overall the thing is like, I think the tipping point was if you look at the illegal immigration issue going on, you see all the federal funding and all the state and all the local funding. I was just here, I heard recently that in New York City, they spent upwards of $3 to $5 billion in overall just with the legal immigration. But then at the same time, look at our brothers. We do not have jobs. Look at our communities. We do not have funding. We elected Democrats over and over and over again. And what did they say? Oh no, we'll take care of you next time. We'll take care of you next time. We'll help the community next time. But then they're not doing that.
Why is Trump different, real quick?
Overall, look at what he's done. If you look at his record from day one, he's brought in African Americans into the administration as well. He's a businessman. Myself, I own a business. He knows what it's like to have to sit there and do payroll as well.
Yeah.
He knows what it's like to sit there and have to do payroll. Yep. That makes a big difference. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Two things I am not going to be, and that's broke and dumb. These past 4 years, I've been one of those things steady, and it ain't the latter. Now, in 2020, I was both of those things. I was a twofer. But this time, you don't have to worry about me being no twofer. You ain't got to worry about it, because I need my problem solved. I'm not focused on making no history. And if that's all you voting for is history, hang it up. The way we trending, we finna be history. The most population to file bankruptcy. I don't care nothing about how you say stuff. I need my problem solved. And if you gonna solve my problem, I'm with you. Two things.
Yep. So, Miss Mindersu, what it is her post office on Saturdays is only open from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I think that that was available after it closed. So, it might show that it's there, but it wasn't available for her to get yesterday. So she'll get it tomorrow. Yeah, my little dogs are being pains in the butt right now. They're trying. Can you hear them? Can you hear them back there? Oh, they're so vicious. What are you looking at me like that for, Ahab? I haven't done that to you in a while, huh? Yeah. All right, get ready for a rig 2024. Yeah. We talked about this too.
So I did a little research into the whole driver's license thing. Realized it's not only happening in Florida. I've gotten multiple comments. Look, Utah. Look at this one. Look at this one. This one. So then I decided to just be nosy and call the DMV. And I asked, do you have an examination with all different languages? And they said, yes, in fact, we do. Bro, they can literally get a driver's license like ASAPer. And guess what? Most DMVs in Florida and other states immediately register you to vote when you get a driver's license. That's all I'm saying. So
What does Ahab look like? Hang on, I'll show you. That's Ahab. Yep. A little pain in my butt he is. He's trying to steal my bed, but the thing is he can't get his fat little butt. He can't get his fat little butt up there. It's yeah, I gotta hold on. What's the other one I got? And then I got these guys. Let's see. Do this again. I couldn't make the picture any smaller. I need to get one of those ones that allows you to do shrinking videos down or shrinking pictures down, you know, but keeping the integrity of the picture, I guess you call it, you know, because I don't want to have to cut it up. So here's George Webb talking about that white van.
Okay, hello everybody, George Webb, and I've had a lot of people say, what white van? There's no white van. You made up the white van doesn't exist. Some people who admit the white van don't believe that the police, 15 different police and all these cop cars came by the white van. No, they actually was a whole bunch of cops there, a whole bunch of police cars there looking at the white van. The questions that came out of this was, is he in the white van and did he survive? Did he survive is not just I cut my hand and my hand is bleeding. Did he survive is a question like we hit him and we're afraid he's dead, right? We're afraid he didn't make it, right? That's the question that's asked on the rooftop about the white van. Did the dogs follow the blood trail? What's the story with the white van?
Yeah. And I'll have a video here in a couple of minutes of, well, actually, let me scroll down and see if I'm not sure if I threw it into this mix. Did I throw it in here? Let me see. Bear with me for a minute, guys. I might not have added it. I don't think I added it. But there was a conversation on the rooftop. These cops are up there, and let's see. I really hate it when I start at the bottom or the top and work my way down. I really should have gone the other direction, but I didn't. But we'll do it now. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up now. Seeing that I'm all the way down here, might as well cover it, right? Because there's a few things that were here from yesterday that I never got to. Because I got tired and I had stuff I had to go outside and do. So kind of, all right, I'm getting there. We're almost there. These are all starting to look real familiar now. Yeah. Yep. We're okay. So a couple things I wanted to cover. Okay. Yep. The farts was where we, for those of you that missed this yesterday, I'm going to share this with you just because I think it's important to understand the complexity of gas.
Facts that will blow you away. Fart 7. Men tend to fart more often than women, but women's farts have a higher concentration of gases, making them smellier. The fear of accidentally farting while on a date is known as ephinopyroclophobia. In 2011, a man in Denmark was fired from his job for farting too much at work. The famous silent but deadly farts are called stealth or ninja farts. Send this to someone who has no shame in their fart game. A sperm whale's fart is so potent that it can be smelled from over a mile away. Ancient Romans used to hold farting contests as a form of entertainment. Farts were once believed to carry deadly diseases, leading to the use of fart jars in the Middle Ages to protect against illnesses. On average, people fart between 13 and 21 times per day. Some people can control their farts to be quieter or louder on purpose. A shart is a combination of a fart and a small amount of poop that shoots out and surprises you. A study shows that 50% of people say they've used farting as an excuse to leave a boring conversation. Facts that...
I'm sorry. I can't resist. Sometimes I can't resist. Here's the link for that. Here you go. There you go. Drop that everywhere. Share that everywhere. Because I think it's important to know. All right, how his dog wakes him up every morning. Here we go. I think he's trying to CPR from the back. Yeah, I got a lot of dog comms today we're going to go through. Lots of dog comms we're going to go through. Different kinds of dog comms. So here you go.
What's up, little man? What are you selling?
Candy bars from my basketball.
How much one of the bars?
Oh, how much the bars cost?
Yeah.
1 for 5, 2 for 10, 3 for 20, and 6 for 40.
I don't have any money on me right now. Can I actually get one of the bars and come back in like 5 minutes? By any chance? Are you sure?
Yes.
What's your favorite flavor?
Milk chocolate.
Is that milk chocolate one?
Yes.
Oh, it's okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. What's your name?
Travion.
I'm Zach. Nice to meet you, bro. So actually, I have my wallet on me right now, and you can actually have the bar back, bro. What I have for you? 500 cash, man.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I never had this much money.
Can I give you a hug by any chance? Love
Yes.
you.
Do you want to hang out the chocolate bars for free?
To some strangers?
Yes.
Okay. What's up, little man? What are you selling?
Candy bars.
When you see something as a child, somebody does something for you. What's crazy is the response that you have. And this is with most children, okay? And even us as kids, we turn around and we give something to somebody else. So that one act of giving creates a whole nother line of giving. Because we're no longer constricted by what we were trying to raise. Instead, we were, Camo Carl, dude, I hope you still have my number. I need you to call me. I have something for you. I need you to call me. Hopefully you still have my number. Give me a call. Anytime. Doesn't matter when. If you called me now, I would find videos long enough to play so that I could talk to you. All right. But I've got an offer for you that you might be interested in. All right. Okay, great. Yeah. You check and make sure you have my number still, please. All right. Okay. But yeah, so this kid was given, and then all of a sudden he turned around and was giving. And I think that's cool. Yeah. All right, here we go. he just he give me the bacon, man. Give me the bacon. Okay. Yep. All right. Yep. All right. All right. Yes. So, dog excited to attend his first birthday party. Here we go. That is so cool. It is cool when people include their animals. But this one here, a depressed dog finds happiness again. So, he guy says, my dog was diagnosed with depression, but this was his reaction after seeing his little sister for the first time. I got to play it twice. This is so true. Dogs need a companion. And if you have a dog that's older, understand that that older dog is going to teach that younger dog so many things. Okay? Is going to teach him what love is all about, okay? I mean, there's a bonding period that goes on with humans, but the understanding of what that bond is truly about is taught by older dogs to the younger dogs so that they understand. I'm not gonna be around much longer, kid, so here, let me teach you the things that I know. What do we do? When we know that our time is at an end? What do? We try to teach everybody everything that we can before we go. You can't take it with you when you go, so you might as well leave it for somebody else. John Leary says MV Dolly, Baltimore, is birthed next to hospital ship Comfort. Yeah. Yeah. The hospital ship Comfort next to MV Dolly. Yep. All right. We'll probably see a bunch of stuff come out about that. So the bubble house of 5,500 square foot that can be completed in a single day. And I thought that this was really cool, and this is a great way of building for this particular area, that they're in, but could be beneficial to places all around the world.
This is a bubble house and is built without using a single brick. First, they lay down the foundation. Then, an air pump inflates a bladder, shaping the house model like a massive bubble. Skilled workers then use a spray gun to apply concrete along the surface. The pneumoform can be deflated and reused up to 100 times, making this method eco-friendly. One such shell, covering 5,500 square feet, was completed in a single day. This is a bubble house.
Pretty cool, huh? Think about that. It's you think about the way that houses are built today. It could be months before a house gets completed. Why? Because building costs, for one. Okay, availability of building materials. Okay, because you can start a housing project, but it was like. Yesterday, I watched the Parker Brothers on YouTube. They when they do an episode, they do a build from the foundation on up. They build the foundation, everything all the way through to finishing, getting the appliances moved in, cabinet installed, everything. They do everything from beginning to end, and it's really cool because, you know, it's, you know, what takes them a couple of weeks to build, you know, can sometimes turn into a couple of months because the house, the one particular house that they were building was up on a cliffside, right? I mean, really dangerous to drive up there. Um, and but it took 9 months to get the windows. 9 months to get the windows, and the windows that were local in a local supplier still took them 3 months to get. You know, so you know, we look at these things and we don't often, you know, think about the building site, you know, about why it's taking so long. Well, you know, we've watched lumber go from maybe $2 a 2x4, and that's $1.58 for what was a 2x4x8. A 12-footer was, you know, you add like another 30 cents to it, you know. 16-footer, yeah, you know, it's $2.25, right? Okay. And you know, now those same 2x4s are $8 or $9 a piece. So it's like people, you know, are struggling to be able to get the materials to complete the builds that they started before this administration went into office. You know, yep. Oh yeah, yeah. New York Debs. Yeah, it's actually, I'll show you one of those because that if I'm going to be staying at this place much longer than what I am, I would love to. Um, so you can go here, go into Amazon, and just type in houses. Whoop. Let me back that up and go all departments, house. Okay, and you see here's a prefab. And but let me, okay, so something like this. Well, this, yeah, let's go with this one here. Okay, so this is one of those. Okay, is there a video on this one? I know one of these has a video, really good video. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Can I make it?
And here's the Amazon Boxable. Now check this out, folks. This thing comes literally in a box to your house.
Give it a second. It takes some, because it's coming off of Amazon.
And this is how it goes together. And you don't necessarily need a crane either. You know?
Come on.
And have a
Come on. I'm going to let some of it catch up.
a couple buddies help you put it together. Just be careful while you're doing it. But look at this house. It's extraordinary what they can do today. So, you know, I don't know. I'm thinking about grabbing one myself. I just recently saw this done. I don't know about you. It is very, very cool.
Yep. To have a, oh, hold on. Is it going to show? You know, what's crazy is you fold it back up. You can fold it back up and take it with you wherever you go. That's what's, you know, that's what's nuts about it, is that you can, you know, and all these different types, of these houses. These are incredible, you know, quick, easy, expandables. Let's see if this one's got a video of it getting put up. Oh, yeah. I don't want words. I want it being opened. Let's see. going.
I want to tell you about why I'm considering a tiny home. Portability, you could a month. One reason is a cost effective the time it would take
Well,
to clean my traditional home. Decorating is a
yeah. No, see, I hate it when they do that. It's come on, give us a video of one of these things getting unfolded. That is, I also like this one here. This 12 by 14 patio hardtop gazebo. It's got glass windows, or you can take the glass out during the summertime and have screened in. You know, have it screened in. Super quick, super easy. You know, just the different things that you can do to your property to enhance it. You know, and stuff is just crazy. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Gen X for president. Here we go.
Anybody else think it's really kind of weird that we never got a Generation X president?
Have you met us? You don't want a Gen X president. You don't want us in charge of jack shit. Can you imagine a Gen X president coming in just fucking scorched earth on everything? The younger generations would shit their pants. They would be crying in the streets. They'd form like a protest, block the street to make a point. We'd fucking run them over. What would our campaign slogan be? Like, fuck around, find out, 2028?
There's really not even that many of them in Congress or the Senate.
Like, nobody likes us. Who would vote for us? We don't even follow rules at our real jobs. We still eat cereal for dinner like 3 times a week. You don't want us in charge of the country because we don't give a fuck.
Like the generation that gave us Rage Against the Machine.
Do you remember like any like the lyrics to Rage Against the Machine that we brought you? Like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
And it's just like, what happened to this generation? Did you all just like stay out of politics? Like,
we've been in charge of shit so long, we are exhausted. We are done. Our brains are done. Y'all can fuck it up. Have fun. We're just gonna get old and die. Leave us alone.
Yep. All right. Patrick, a tough conversation about Israel. Do you believe the world is a safer place without Israel? Here we go.
Moral values are the problem. August 4th. If you don't put America first as a U.S. politician, you are committing treason. Supporting Israel is bad for America. Netanyahu is a convicted war criminal, and Israel is not our ally. We fought way too many wars for Israel, and we certainly don't need to give them any more money. July 25th. These idiots have ruined movies. Everything they put out is literally propaganda. And then all of a sudden, we got scripture here. For what shall it profit? For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Is this recent, comments you're making about Israel a recent thing, or have you always had these beliefs?
It's more recent. I didn't really realize what a problem it was until recently, and then everybody was scared to say something about it. My brother told me, like, you can't say anything about it. They'll fucking kill you. Like, everybody basically said that I couldn't say anything about it. And actually now they're like literally like trying to like kick me off the board of my company because of those tweets. So like, shit, yeah, I've definitely had a lot of like negative pushback, a lot of my Jewish friends, but I don't give a fuck. It's like one of those things where I know that it's the right thing. And the fact that everybody else is scared to say it makes me, feel obligated to be vocal about it.
Why do you think it's the right thing?
Because I know that they're a fucking parasite. Like, they provide the U.S. absolutely no value. They've done so many thand would constitute, an act of war against us. I mean, USS Liberty, Lebanon Affair. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on. But I think they knew about 9/11. I think they had JFK assassinated. The first thing that he wanted to do, right before he died was, make AIPAC a foreign entity, and not allow them to have nukes. And then all of a sudden this fucking guy's dead. And Jack Ruby, who is Jack Rubenstein, I mean, it's just like, and then you just, I don't know, man, I can't ignore all the shit that they've done. They sold their secrets. Netanyahu lied to us about weapons of mass destruction. We fought all these fucking wars. My friends have died over there. Like, you know, and I just look at what they provided us with, and it's fucking, it's not nothing. It's like a negative, you know, it's not, even if they just didn't do jack shit, that would be, you know, bad, but they've actually done things to hurt us over and over and over again. So like this whole thing of they're our greatest allies, just complete fucking bullshit. And, you know, we send them $100 billion, then they send APAC $100 million, and then they distribute it to our politicians, and every politician is a little fucking APAC handler walking around telling them what to fucking say and how to vote. And it's just like, look, I'll donate like $100,000 to politicians, you know, and they call me up like, hey, you need anything? Like every week. I don't need shit. I fucking sit on my ass. I don't do anything. I don't care. I don't fucking break any laws. I don't need any favors. Like I just gave it to them because I didn't want to see any more fucking retard, you know, Democrats in there. So, you know, but that's 100,000. Like, what does 100 million buy you? How many fucking phone calls do those guys get? You know? And so like, I just know how it works. And the system is broken. Like these people get into office and they don't have very much money. And they get out of office with fucking tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not a fucking accident, right?
Is that an Israel thing or is that anybody? Because China's doing the same thing.
China it doesn't have they don't have an APAC. Like Israel is the only one that has a fucking like a lobby in the US fucking, you know, giving these politicians money.
Okay, no, every country, the big ones all have lobbyists. They all have lobbying that they're doing.
Not in the US. They're registered as foreign entities.
Right. I mean, if you're talking about, are you going to the dual citizenship part with Israel, you know, Israel?
That's another problem is a lot of our politicians have far more allegiance to Israel than they do the United States. I mean, that's a whole nother issue as
Do you
well.
know why they did the dual citizenship? Do you know the history behind why they did the dual citizenship?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so the whole concept of dual citizenship was because when Israel became a, you know, country again, they didn't want the people from here who wanted to go back to Israel that didn't have a motivation to go if they were going to lose their citizenship here. So that was the reason why they did it. It was kind of like, okay, you're your own country. We kind of need some of you guys to move over there to help the country out. Yeah, but I'm not going to go. Why are you not going to go? Am I going to lose my citizenship here? But you are. I mean, we don't do that. Every other country, you got to, I don't want to lose my citizenship. Well, okay, how about if we do this? How about if we allow you, just Israel, to go back to your country, you won't lose your citizenship? That was the arrangement at the beginning why they did it that way.
No, look, I get it. I have 3 citizenships. You know what I mean? I think it's okay. I think
what's the third one? I know Armenia, but what's the
St. Kitts.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't have an issue with dual citizenship. My issue is when somebody is holding a U.S. office and they are putting a foreign nation's interest before America's interest, and they are favoring that other country. And so that to me is treason. Like when you are a U.S. government official, your motivation should be to do things in the best interest of the government that you are representing, not some other fucking foreign country. And that's the problem.
Okay, so but go through it. So what is the solution? Meaning, if Israel's the enemy, then if let's just say you don't do anything and everybody in the Middle East unites to take out Israel, do you think the Middle East is better without Israel? And do you think the world's a safer place without Israel?
100%. It's not even close.
Okay, tell me why. Why do you think?
Give me an argument otherwise, please. But give me one argument why the world would be better off with Israel. Let's just start with that. One thing. Give me one thing.
Have you ever lived in the Middle East?
No.
I lived there for 10.5 years. It's a very it's not as like here. You can sit here. You can be an atheist. You can be an agnostic. I can be a Christian. It can be a Jew. It can be an LDS, Muslim. No problem. We can coexist here. You can do that in Israel. You can do that.
I mean, not really. They're operating apartheid right now. Not everybody's not living equally.
Not at the level of Iran. Not at the level of what Iran is doing. I mean, in Iran, if you're thinking what Israel is doing out of control, do you know how much money Khamenei's families made? Do you know how much money they have 200?
I've never been to Iran, but I've been to Dubai. I've been to Saudi. Like I've been to UAE. So like, and they're all Muslim. They seem to be operating fine.
I would say Iran's slightly different than. But go back to it. So okay, so you think the Middle East and the world would be a better place if Israel didn't exist?
Yes.
Okay.
Israel's committed, so many terrorist attacks. They're stealing land right now. They're operating in apartheid. They're currently committing a genocide on Palestinians. Like, do you believe in the genocide they're committing?
I think they're fighting for themselves and they're defending themselves.
Do you think that's defense?
Well,
when 1,200 people died, and of which the 1,200 you've killed and admitted that you've killed a lot during, your Hannibal.
I will tell you this. The part I question where people who are Jewish can't stand when I say this, I don't know how you, Netanyahu, claim you have the best intelligence in the world, Mossad, and you didn't know that on October 7th they're attacking.
They knew about it. They didn't. They wanted it to happen, so they had a reason to take that. Yeah, they wanted a reason to take the land.
I totally get it.
And they killed their own citizens. And they claimed that all these people got raped. That was bullshit. They claimed beheaded babies. That was bullshit. Everything that they said was a fucking complete. Not only was it a lie, but they committed all those atrocities themselves to the Palestinians and been caught doing it. In fact, they just got caught gang raping Palestinians. How many babies have they killed? All the things that they accuse the Palestinians of, or Hamas of, or whatever, they're guilty of 100-fold themselves. And they've been doing that. Like October 7th wasn't the start of this. Like the start of this was Nakba. They've done so many different.
Disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, so I mean, this is not like, it's not like October 7th is like, just all of a sudden they just came over there unsolicited and just killed people. Like they have been killing Palestinians for years and years, operating two sets of justice. It's like they have the justice for the Palestinians and the justice for the Israelis. And if you read the Talmud, like, if you're not Jewish, you're basically not a human. You're like, like cattle. If a Jew is killed by, somebody that's not Jewish, then it's the death penalty. If a Jew kills somebody that's not a Jew, then, you can't kill them. It's not the death penalty. Like they literally like segregate in their Bible.
They're very protective of themselves. I don't think anybody can debate that. I don't think it's a.
Well, it's not the problem isn't that they're protective of themselves. The problem comes when you think that you're better than other people and you think it's okay to lie to anybody that's not a Jew. You think it's okay to steal from people that are not a Jew. You have two sets of standards. The problem with that is it allows you to rationalize anything, right? And human beings are generally self-serving creatures. So if your fundamental religious belief system allows you to operate in such a way that you believe there isn't consequences to stealing from other people, killing other people, raping, kids that are under 9 years old, like if you think those things are okay, then, how are you going to operate? Because to me, like my moral code keeps me on track.
I don't think.
Yeah. I'd like to have had more of that interview. I wonder if there is more of that interview. Let's see. Oh, all right. Okay, moving on. Okay, we're going up. So as above, so below, as within, so without. The law of correspondence in action. Here we go.
As above, so below. As within, so without. That's the law of correspondence. As above, so below. Whatever is going on in your head is going on in your body. Whatever is going on inside your body is going on outside in your life. That's in other words, immediately relevant. Whatever is going on in the heavens is going on the earth. Whatever is going on the inside of the heavens is going on the inside of you in your spiritual, astral, invisible body. You keep that universal principle as you look at things moving in your world to comprehend why. How? Because the law of correspondence keeps working. As above, so below.
Yep. Interesting take. Monsoons create waterfalls at the Grand Canyon. I'll go there someday. Always wanted to. Always wanted to go see the Grand Canyon. All right. Laugh my ass off. That's what he gets. Okay. So You steal a dead person's identity and try to buy a car, and they trick you into thinking you really got away with it, and then the cops arrest you immediately after the keys gets into your hand. Here you go.
Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. Okay? Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Take this. Got anything on you I need to know about?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I bet if he was an illegal immigrant, they'd have let him leave with it. Mm-hmm. 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 What's your thoughts on this? Here we go.
The dirty little secrets are well kept.
Allowed the sex of children to fester within its ranks for decades.
The Jehovah's Witnesses refused to turn over the documents, but they elected to pay a $4,000 per day fine rather than to turn over those documents.
So donations were paying for the megabuck lawsuit settlements.
That is how Watchtower inadvertently wound up creating this massive database of child molesters.
That is the file that the Watchtower has never made public. And that is the file that the lawyers want.
They care about their reputation. They don't want their names dragged through the mud.
If you were a woman and a mother, and you learned what I did, you would do the same thing. You wouldn't rest at night. When this letter to all elders throughout the world came out, it said that we would like to know the names of known molesters. So that made up a file.
They emphasized the legal risk that they were facing of having potentially known molesters within the congregation. So they were worried about their legal exposure. The court ordered them to produce it. They said, no, we're not doing it.
Mm-hmm. So their fine's up over 200 or 2 million now. All right. The worker's face says it all.
Oh my God. She's beautiful.
Really?
You're the most beautifulest girl I've ever seen in my life.
Come on.
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go.
So I have people all the time ask me, and they say things like, Leah, do you really think our government is that evil? Like, are they really that evil? They're worse. Picture the most diabolical, most evil person you've ever heard about or read about in your entire life and times it by about 100. If you truly knew the things that they have been doing to us as a populace for centuries, you would lose your shit. We would have overthrown the government a long time ago. Don't get me started on the Vatican or the royal family. You have no clue. If you don't have a clue, you're not going to believe this anyway. But it's all true. It is all 100% factual. They hunt, kill, sell, rape, torture for fun. I've seen MS-13 members admit that they smuggle people and they traffic children for United States government officials. Why do you think Epstein's list hasn't been disclosed? She went, Ghislaine, whatever the hell her name is, I call her Ghislaine for a reason. Why do you think that her list hasn't been exposed yet? Because they're on it. The FBI, the DOJ, the DOD, all of them are in collusion together. Now imagine the most evil person you've ever heard about, read about, seen in movies. Now imagine that person with zero consequences and an insurmountable amount of money. That's what our government is. I guarantee you it's 100 times worse than you can possibly imagine. I know it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Kamala shows her true colors here. Look at this power trip she's on and just imagine the power she'll be on when she's president.
Misdemeanor. You know, the power I have as a prosecutor is that
With the swipe of my pen, I can charge someone with a misdemeanor, the lowest level offense possible. And by virtue of that swipe of my pen, you will have to go to a courthouse and stand in line. You will have to come out of pocket and hire an attorney. You may get arrested for a few hours. You will be embarrassed in your community. You will miss time from coming onto the Google campus, all because with the swipe of my pen, I've charged you with a crime, which I may choose to dismiss 2 weeks later. It's an incredible amount of power. You know, the power.
Yep. That's what she did for years. All right. What's the worst car a man can drive?
What's the worst car a man could drive?
Probably a Tesla.
Tesla? Why do you say that?
I feel like electric cars are just so feminine, especially like when you have to plug them in from the back. Kind of makes me jealous. I should be the only one being plugged from the back.
What?
Oh, I had to share that one. Yep. All right, here we go.
I told you America wasn't ready for the Latin American criminal. Right now, as we're speaking, there are 2 apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado that have been taken over by Venezuelan gang members, right? To the point where they told the landlord, bro, you come around here, man, we're going to take your life, we're going to take your family's life, right? Landlord's scared. Landlord go to local law enforcement and say, no, we could do about these squatters, go to squatter laws, bro, right? He says, man, try to contact the FBI. FBI say, hey, my man, that ain't our problem, right? The Department of Homeland Security said, that ain't our problem, bro. The landlord is just like, yo, what the hell is going on? What do I do? Bro, these dudes are collecting rent on behalf of the landlord in the building. And every single time somebody moves out of one of the apartments, they're bringing in more Venezuelan migrants into it. Talking about they're patrolling the building with guns. Like, what? In America? No way. That shit, it sounds like something out of a movie, bro. No freaking way that's happening right now. Imagine being that landlord, bro. He probably calling the bank like, hey, yo, yeah, man, the Venezuelan migrants got your mortgage payment. It was the Venezuela who? You owe us that money. You better pay up, bro. There's nothing he could do about it either, man. Because if he try to do something about it, he's going to get locked up. Yo, I'm sorry. A lot of y'all don't like this, man. But if you're still convinced that the USA don't need a motherfucker like Trump, you gotta be fucking crazy, man. Trump is the only one that's gonna be aggressive enough, man. So come up with him and be like, all right, everybody get the fuck out, man. Kicking doors down and shit. Sending everybody over there, man. Deporting everybody. At this point, man, it's needed. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you are a Democrat, it don't matter what you are, man. Shit is getting fucking bad, man. And if you think it's not gonna affect you, just give it enough time. Give it enough time, man, because it's only starting.
Yep. It's only starting. And I told you guys, it's gonna get worse. Yep. All right, here we go. Script keeper.
60 seconds in your popcorn. And 1.
John Podesta's friend who debunked Pizzagate arrested for raping toddlers.
Yeah. Didn't this guy debunk Pizzagate? Arrested for raping toddlers. Ex-Maryland mayor known for LGBTQ activism learns sentence after heinous child porn conviction. 500 victims. A former Maryland mayor and well-known LGBTQ activist convicted earlier this year in a heinous child pornography case was sentenced to 30 years in prison on Monday. Patrick Wojcian, who resigned as mayor of College Park, Maryland, Democrat, on March 2nd before his arrest, pleaded guilty to 140 charges related to child pornography as part of a deal struck with prosecutors. He was sentenced to 150 years total, with all but 30 years suspended, but still will be eligible for parole in 7.5 years under the new state law. The Washington Post reported the conviction came after investigations linked an account sharing illicit images to this government email address. 60 seconds in your popcorn.
Yep.
And
yep. Just gotta say, yep. Yeah. All right. All right, here we go. A little bit more on Trump.
I know personally about his feelings towards Haiti and towards Central America because when I was not a candidate for president and he wasn't a candidate for president, I went down there on a medical mission trip. I did about 200 cataract surgeries with a group of surgeons in Haiti and the same in Central America. And when we asked Donald J. Trump as a private citizen to support those trips, he was a large financial backer of both medical mission trips. I think it's unfair then to sort of all of a sudden paint him, oh, well, he's a racist, when I know for a fact that he cares very deeply about the people in Haiti because he helped to finance a trip where we were able to get vision back for 200 people in Haiti. I know personally about his feelings towards Haiti.
Yep. So we're getting ready to see the cleanup. Yeah, we're getting ready to see it. Yep. Alvin Bragg is toast.
Losing. Do you want to know the real reason why the radical left, the Democrats, the propagandists are absolutely losing their minds right now? Because of that. It's over. The lawfare doctrine that they implemented 2.5 years ago to remove Donald Trump from the ballot and ultimately take him out of the race to retake the White House is over. The Supreme Court literally killed the lawfare doctrine. So it's now being reported that Alvin Bragg is agreeing to delay Donald Trump's sentencing. And the reason why he's agreeing to delay it is really important, because they're going to have to declare a mistrial. And Judge Marchand doesn't have a choice at this point. The Supreme Court ruled that the internal deliberations of a president while in office cannot be considered for criminal prosecution. Much of the evidence that Alvin Bragg submitted to the court and their unlawful and wrongful conviction in the show trial of Donald Trump was taken from internal deliberations. They can't use it. They knew they couldn't use it, but they used it anyway. They violated Donald Trump's rights. Because what Alvin Bragg and Juan Marchand are now starting to understand is that when Donald Trump retakes the White House, it is very likely that they're both going to end up under investigation for criminal conspiracy to violate 18 U.S. Code 241 and 242 in violation of President Trump's constitutional rights. They broke the law. They violated his rights, and they wrongfully convicted him of a crime that wasn't a crime. So think about what's happened over the last couple of weeks to the radical left. They've literally lost every single piece of power they thought they had and can use against the American people. All 4 of the criminal cases against Donald Trump are over. The actual conviction they thought that they had secured against Donald Trump is finished. The apparatuses that they use in the federal government to control the people has been removed. Chevron deference is gone. The authoritarian state is being dismantled as we speak by the Supreme Court, and they can't handle it. That's what they've been using for the last 40 years against the American people, and it's all coming crashing down right now.
Yep. Yeah. Just so many things, you know, so many things. I mean, it's all just one layer on top of the next, on top of the next, you know. It's going to be interesting to see the extent that they're going to attempt to go in November, you know, and that's why Too Big to Rig is so important, you know. What are you doing there, kiddo? You know your butt's too fat to get underneath that, so why do you stick your head through it knowing that your fat butt can't get through there? You're like watching one of those cats in that video. Yeah, why don't you sit there and chew on my slipper and my toe? You're safer that way. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Moving on. Carly Bonet. Here we go.
All right. The Air Force says its personnel fired back at multiple shooters at Joint Base San Antonio. This is in Texas. The shots were fired around 4:30 a.m. local time this morning outside of a gate to the base's training facility. It is unknown whether the shooters have any sort of military affiliation. Local police are now investigating. All right.
Yeah, there'll be more on that. That's the second time in here that they've tried to get into that base. This time they got shot at. Yeah. All right. Wall Street Babe says BlackRock buys up all the homes. Democrats offer a $25,000 down payment BlackRock skyrockets home prices and pockets your $25K down payment. You get kicked out of your home thanks to inflated interest rates. That's called money laundering on a major league level. Yeah, that idea is just not a good one. Here we go. Chanel, we're on.
In terms of the numbers, I know what leapt out of the page for me was looking at just how quickly our U.S. domestic coal production has been degraded. And I think that the numbers you forecast is 2026, half of U.S. coal production will be gone out of the United States. What kind of forecast is that? Do you think that's something that also can be slowed down, reversed, or is it just an inevitable forecast?
Absolutely. We're going to make coal country great again. We're going to put our coal miners and power generating plants back on the map. And I can tell you another number that's very interesting. Georgia lost a company called 1888 Mills under Joe Biden, and they were manufacturing textiles. Our textile industry is vital for national security. If you think about something that happened just in 2005, we gave all of our textile jobs to countries like Mexico and China, and it was so bad that Mexico had to be relied upon to make our Customs and Border Patrol uniforms. And you think of, the textile industry, what does that have to do with national security? Well, if we can't have uniforms for our Border Patrol agents, how can they show up to work and protect our border from the illegals, the Chinese nationals, and everybody else from South America and the Middle East coming into our country without penalty? So you think about all these industries are leaving our country because of this radical Green New Deal spending, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris allowing our country and our workers to be ripped off on trade once again. So we're going to bring our coal plants back on the map, our textile industry, steel manufacturing. Something interesting that's also happening in Pennsylvania that I don't want to forget to mention to you. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have turned a blind eye to the Chinese coming here and building a steel factory just 40 minutes away from our steel capital of the country, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And they did not even initiate a national security investigation into the deal. There are Chinese nationals coming and taking over our steel industry. Steel is vital for national security. It's vital for our military. And read every single great American military general. You cannot defend your country without steel. It's used to make our military equipment, our aircrafts, our tanks, you name it. So Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
Isn't there a protocol? Isn't there a protocol that we're supposed to follow if a foreign country, especially an adversarial country, comes into our borders and buys a manufacturing apparatus that manufactures national security elements? Isn't there a protocol? Isn't there something that, aren't they supposed to register with DOJ or be, sign up for some kinds of, monitoring systems? Like, isn't there something in place for that?
The Commerce Department is responsible for that, but that's up to Joe Biden to get on them and say, hey, listen, there's a project here that is threatening national security, but this does not surprise me. Look at what's happening in Michigan with Goshen. That is a communist Chinese company coming here and building an electric vehicle battery factory. It's up to Joe Biden to enforce these kinds of reviews of foreign investment in the United States. It's called CFIUS investigation, and it's not happening, and it's not being enforced. And so if that's not being enforced, nobody can do anything about it if you're outside of the federal government. So it's up to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and they're not doing anything. And it's because they want the Chinese to come and take over our national security industries.
Yep. Oh, boy. Okay. A little bit on Chicago.
We are on Washington and Wabash outside of the Garland building, which houses a number of businesses, including stores and some restaurants and offices. Now, as you can see behind me, you'll notice that the front of the Garland building is covered in plywood. It's basically covering the windows and the door. And that's to be able to protect the building, and I should say the entrance of the building, from any potential unrest that could happen ahead of the, once once the DNC does come around here, since we are anticipating some protests to take place. Now, the Chicago Board of Services says their crews have been busy the last few days boarding up businesses to get ahead of potential damages. Now, so far, they've secured 12 locations around the West Loop, downtown, and Daly Plaza area, with plans to board up additional businesses this weekend as a preventative measure if protests related to the DNC erupt violently. We are on Washington and Wabash.
Yeah. So they're boarding up, but there's more going on. You'll see that in a few minutes. All right. Whoever this guy is, he is so right about Elon Musk. Here we go.
Isn't it a crying shame when Elon Musk is the biggest defender of free speech and the biggest enemy of censorship in the entire world? And the powers that be in Europe and here in America, including the corporate media, who should actually be defending him, have declared him public enemy number one. They're vilifying him. You want to know why? Because they can't control him. He's not beholden to them. He's untouchable. He's Elon Musk, and they can't stand that. They're not used to that. Personally, I think Elon Musk is a hero because of all of that. Isn't it a crime?
Now, I have to say that Truth Social is actually more in the lines of what's his name, Devin Nunes and Donald Trump were doing it long before Elon was. But you know, hey, you know, whatever floats your boat, you know, whatever gets people to pay attention. And yeah, X is the platform right now that is providing more capabilities. I can't podcast to Truth Social, but I can to X. You know, I could to Rumble. I just I can't afford it. I'm already paying for to be on X and paying for StreamYard and that stuff. So, but yeah, I'd love to be able to podcast to Truth Social as well. You know, and go through posts on Truth Social, you know, to spark people's curiosity about the site. But yeah, it's limited, you know, as to what you're able to do. You know, whereas here on X, I'm able to do more, you know, right now, you know, YouTube and Facebook, you know, we keep you guys going because most of you, a good portion of you, I should say, don't have, you know, don't have YouTube or don't have X. So you're getting, you know, stuff from there, and same thing. Those of you that don't have Facebook are getting, you know, the you know, everybody's getting the same content this way, you know, and it would be great if we were able to include True Social in on that, you know. So, all right, Fox News. Greg Gutfeld absolutely rips Kamala Harris for economic policy rollout. Here we go.
Well, first, I want to point out something Jessica said, that Trump began as a millionaire and now he's a billionaire. I think that makes him an expert in this. I would rather listen to somebody who began as a millionaire and is now a billionaire than somebody who doesn't have a damn clue about economics. I've never heard a candidate today more unsure of themselves on a topic than Kamala Harris. I think she's been burdened by the weight of expectations put on her by the media. I've never seen a better campaign ad for Trump. She's campaigning better for Trump than Trump is. First, let's talk about the down payment issue on the House. A lot of this stuff is infuriating because they're treating the American public like idiots. She makes a proposal that is only half an equation. The first half is, here's a nice thing for you. The second half is missing, who pays for it? You saw this with student loan theft, described as forgiveness. Who paid for it? You paid for it. You see with immigration policy, who's footing the billions and all that free stuff? You're paying for it. Nothing is free. Nothing is free. And the sooner or later you figure that out, the better off you're going to be. And that's directed at Democrats who don't understand that these policies are going to sink this country. You know, if you cap prices, you increase scarcity by diminishing competition. People can call her a communist, but you gotta explain this because the media won't ask the follow-up questions. How do you plan on doing this? Please give me an example. Give me an example where industries got together in a room and decided to drastically increase prices. That doesn't exist. The only example they'll have is, oh, you know, a bodega raised prices on umbrellas when it rained. That's all they got. There is no payoff for industries to artificially inflate their prices because the people who drive the prices are the consumers. That is, if you want to understand supply and demand, it's the consumers who drive the prices. There is absolutely no debate on this. There is not a single economist who would agree that this is the right thing to do. We can go and talk about Eastern Bloc countries. You can look at the cheap, terrible cars that they made and the appliances they made, but you already know that story. So how do you keep a debate alive if we know this is a fraudulent idea? You don't talk to economists. You listen to politicians or talking heads like me who have to do the research because I'm sick and tired of hearing people pretend like they know what they're talking about on TV, but they don't. So you won't see economists on other shows, other networks asking these questions. Like, can you give me an example of how this is done? What are the major industries? What is the right price? What is too high? What is too low? Can the government set prices based on not having a knowledge of an industry? What do you mean exactly by price gouging? How is that done beyond unique exceptions? Price gouging is a weak phrase directed at weaker minds.
Can I just add?
Bravo. Go ahead. Kamala has no time to.
Yeah. So she got removed from a couple of different shows. She wasn't fired outright yet, but she did get removed from some shows. So, yeah, it's she's a DEI. I think, personally, I think she's a DEI. Cambry says open concept restrooms are revealed to parents one day before school started in one elementary school. Here we go.
Open concept bathrooms that can be seen from the hallway were revealed to parents in an elementary school right here in the state. Yes, I'm starting to consider this to be one of the most radical liberal ISDs in Texas. Restrooms that were meant to be for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. Yep, it gets crazier. They don't even have doors to separate each side by sex. It was built as part of a new extension inside a elementary school in Round Rock, Texas. Some parents have concerns. I'm just going to shut up before I get banned on social media with my opinion. Parents saw them one day before school started. Restrooms upstairs and downstairs are without doors separating the male and female sides, and it's visible all from the hallway. Paper towel dispensers and sinks are accessible to both male and female students. There are doors on each stalls, but each have gaps. What can go wrong, guys? One mom asked why open concept bathrooms were even used, and she was told it was to embrace being more inclusive. I'm sorry, this has gone way too far. Governor Abbott, time to step in.
Yeah, will Abbott step in? Probably not. Probably not. All right, take a good listen. Write down the names you hear. Look them up as much as you can. Whitney Webb is a deep, well-researched individual. Reshare for awareness.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But I think this eugenics ideology that you point out is making a comeback has its antecedents in a lot of these groups in elite Britain in the early 20th century and also late 19th century and also in the United States, and they sort of came together. But a lot of influential people were members of those. So, for example, the science fiction author H.G. Wells was one of these prominent eugenicists of that era, and he wrote and stated things like, eventually when this eugenic stuff comes to fruition, the human species is going to split, and you're going to have the elite who are intelligent, tall, and attractive, and then the lower class is going to be these squat-like goblins who are intellectually stunted and cognitively incapable of doing what they can do now, and they eat bugs. What do you know?
Yeah.
And it seems like they've been sort of leading us on this path. And I don't think it's so much that they're anti-human, they're well, it is anti-human in the sense that they're not anti-human in the sense about when it's applied to themselves and other elites, but people that aren't part of their club, they view as, worse than dirt. And so the idea is to sort of shape people to become what their twisted vision of the lower classes is, to actually become that, like, physically and mentally and emotionally. And we're being manipulated into that, unfortunately. And so this explosion of, efforts to sort of, genetically manipulate us and mentally manipulate us with AI, which is reaching unprecedented levels. And Henry Kissinger and Eric Schmidt say on their book on AI that the end result of AI is going to be the people that are dependent on it for algorithms are going to become cognitively diminished to the point that they can't live without AI. And there will be a splitting of the species, just like H.G. Wells says, into the people who are capable of understanding AI and the people who are not capable. And the people who are capable of understanding it are the people that program and develop AI, or who sustain the people that program and maintain it. And then the other lower class, the people that the AI acts upon, who are becoming cognitively diminished and will be unable to understand what AI is doing to them and what is happening to them at all. And it's frankly very disturbing. And a lot of these groups, these eugenics groups, never really went away. The earliest days of the World Economic Forum intimately tied up with the Club of Rome, which is an outgrowth of this other group called Adela, that was basically trying to take over the entire economic landscape of Latin America. All of these Western oligarchs trying to basically make the oligarchy of Latin America during the mid-20th century, which they did quite successfully. And then they went on to create the Club of Rome. And one of the authors of the flagship paper of the Club of Rome, which was featured very prominently at the early WEF meetings, The Limits to Growth, one of the co-authors of that, a man named Dennis Meadows, is on video saying that if we can't reduce the world population to under 1 billion people, we must impose a scientific dictatorship that controls 8 billion people. So we either depopulate and you have freedom, or we keep population at the same level, but we impose a scientific dictatorship. I mean, they're very overt about it. And a lot of these groups continue on and are intimately involved in the sustainable development agenda. Groups like the Global Footprint Network, which shares an insane amount of board member overlap with the Club of Rome. And as I wrote in a recent piece with my colleague, Mark Goodwin, who I mentioned earlier, are attempting to impose a carbon market on Latin America right now, built on the Bitcoin blockchain. And they've essentially, they're focusing on the local level, the municipal level, not the national government level, getting mayors across the continent to sign over their protected areas to this group, who are going to turn these protected areas into carbon credits. And then have it be traded by all these entities that don't necessarily have these groups' interests at heart, and are tied up with the Club of Rome, which is part of this group that, in the 70s, along with Henry Kissinger, framed the population growth of Latin America as a national security threat to Western nations. I mean, it's absolutely mind-boggling. But unfortunately, a lot of the talking points around sustainable development are framed as altruistic. And I think the reason these groups have been so successful is that they frame themselves as philanthropists and altruists, when really they are not. And they do not have our best interests at heart. And so many people are good people, but we have been too trusting, and we are being manipulated now to trust the same people that have been doing this to human society for over 100 years. And if we keep trusting them instead of ourselves and the people we know who are good people in local communities, we are in trouble. We need to stop trusting these people that are being pushed to us and we're being told are our saviors and altruists and all of this. Look at their connections and follow the money, and you will find that is not what these people are, and that is not what these people want.
Yep. They want destruction. They thrive on it. You and I see Trump differently. You see Trump's arrogance. I see Trump's confidence. You see Trump's nationalism. I see Trump's patriotism. You hear Trump's unsophisticated words. I hear Trump's honesty. You see Trump's racism. I see Trump's words being misconstrued and twisted by the media daily to fit their narrative. You see Trump as a Republican. I see Trump as a patriot. You see Trump as a dictator. I see Trump as a leader. You see Trump as an authoritarian. I see Trump as the only one willing to fight for our freedoms. You see Trump as childish. I see Trump as a fighter, unwilling to cave into lies. You see Trump as an unpolished politician. I see Trump as a breath of fresh air. You think Trump hates immigrants. I know Trump is married to an immigrant. You see Trump putting an end to immigration in America. I see Trump welcoming immigrants to America legally. You see Trump's cages at the border. I see Obama's cages at the border. You see Trump with a struggling economy. I see Trump with an amazing economy until the Democrats shut it down. You see the violence in the street and call it Trump's America. I see the violence in the streets of Democratic-run cities who are refusing Trump's help and call it liberal America. You want someone more presidential? I'm happy we have someone who finally doesn't just talk about it, but actually walks the walk. You and I, we see things differently. It's a good post. Very good post. Give me 1 second. Yep. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. I had a muffin. I ate my half, and I had to dole out the other half because if I didn't, then my feet might not be attached to my legs much longer. Yeah. All right. Meet Judge David Kelly. In May, Kelly released a 21-year-old illegal Venezuelan John Torres Roman after he was caught armed with a gun and 43 rounds of ammunition at the scene of a shooting incident in Chicago, where a man was injured in the leg. Torres Roman was scheduled to return to court a few days later, but instead fled the city, joining members of the notorious Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua in Denver. Hang on a minute. Get out of there. Right here. I got it right here. Oh, sorry. Okay. In Denver, Torres Roman and 7 of his gang associates armed, violently robbed Joyera El Ruby, a family-owned jewelry store that has been in business for 24 years. They threatened the co-workers and pistol whipped some of them before making off with more than $2 million in merchandise. After the robbery, he was arrested in Minnesota and returned him to Denver to face charges for attempted first-degree murder and attempted aggravated robbery. Soros-funded progressive judges like Kelly are dangerous to our society. And that's not kidding. Here we go.
It was extremely violent.
It was this moment caught on camera when Mirna Munoz says she knew something didn't feel right as one man pretended to be shopping, and then these three men sat in the cage waiting to be let into their shop, Joyeria El Ruby.
So the individual that was standing right here pulled a gun, and the three individuals that came in pulled guns.
Customers dropping to their knees, held at gunpoint. Some of the staff fleeing to the back. Munoz able to grab her kids and escape.
My mom and my cousin closed the door as I grabbed my 18-month-old baby.
Her mom, Lydia Tena, tried to hit the panic button before one of the robbers attacked her.
They hit her in the back of her head with the gun 3 times. They also hit my cousin Magdalena in the back of the head. She felt like they were going to kill her after they hit her 3 times with the gun in her head. And she, one of the times, tried to move to push the panic button. And they told her that if she moved at all once more, that they were going to kill her and they were going to kill my cousin.
Within another minute, cameras in the back capturing 4 more men entering the back door.
They had white gloves and they were all loading their guns.
Munoz says one assaulted her sister, who walked into all the chaos.
He grabbed her by her hair, pulled her up the stairs, and told her not to move or he was going to kill her. And while he had her face down to the floor, he yanked all of her personal jewelry off.
The 8 men wiping out the store that's been here for 24 years in a matter of 3 minutes.
Everything, they just sort of started putting it in backpacks and duffel bags.
Denver police confirming they are looking for these 8 Hispanic men.
It's organized crime and their accent is from Venezuela.
Walls now bare and shelves disheveled. This family shaken and scared for the future of their shop.
This is very traumatizing.
Sí, tengo mucho miedo.
Yes, I'm very scared, and mostly for our kids.
Yeah. Not cool. Not cool at all. Whoop. I just messed up, didn't I? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Dang nabbit. Oh, no. Give me a minute, guys. I got to scroll back down again. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess I was getting up to where I left off. Actually, it was that's actually pretty good. I think. I'm pretty sure I'm going in the right direction. I hope I'm going in the right direction. Yeah, I think so. I really jumped there, didn't I? Okay.
Adrenochrome in EpiPens. Well, shit. That wasn't on my 2024 bingo card. My husband just ordered an entire pack of these things because we live out in the middle of nowhere and we are beekeeping. And I'm not entirely sure if I'm allergic to bees, which actually all allergies are just really an immune response to, you can fix it essentially. You gotta fix the shit in your body and it, anyways, that's a whole ass other video. But I told him that I would like to have them on hand just in case. You know, we have somebody else up there that may get stung that's allergic or something like that. So he buys this entire packet. Well, look at some of the ingredients in this. Pause to read. I'm not going to point it out. Y'all look for it.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Let me get my glasses. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Well, okay, might help if I clear them off. Let's see. Description. Oh, right down here. See it right here? Alpha and beta. See it here? The adrenergic, or adrenergic receptors. Yeah. Alpha and beta. So that means male and female. Damn. And I do have an allergy to bees, and I will not be using those again. Absolutely not. Democrats have installed more walls at the DNC than they have on the southern border.
We're just 2 days out from the Democratic National Convention that's going to be held at the United Center right there. It's behind the security perimeter, those barricades all around the security perimeter here. And you can see that police are already monitoring the area. There's some Chicago police officers right there. And we even hear a helicopter up in the sky as well. So there is a lot of preparation already in place. And over here, you can see the Chicago Department of Sanitation has some trucks. We've seen those trucks in other areas around the perimeter as well, just to make sure that no other cars can get through. And they are manning some of those trucks. There's someone that's inside that truck over there. I spoke with one of the people who was manning one of those sanitation trucks on the other side of the United Center, and they tell me that they have been working long shifts, 16-hour long shifts, and their plan is to just make sure no one tries to get through the security perimeter. And if they do, they will call 911 dispatch immediately to get police attention. So we know that there's tens of thousands of protesters expected to march on the DNC, but they won't be able to get as close to the United Center, which is over there, as they would like. So should be an interesting few days. We'll have to wait and see.
It is happening here, Benjamin. It is happening here. You just don't see it yet. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's becoming more and more prolific. You think about Ilhan Omar just won her election after everybody in her district said that they weren't going to vote for her. Okay, because she wasn't doing anything other than for the country that she came from, Somalia. So, you know, yeah, no, it's well, small towns don't have the problems. It's the big towns that have the problems. You know, so all right, losing the presidential election is no longer even an option for the Democrat Party. Yep,
They can't lose. Because if they do lose, they are all done for a while until they die. Pass away from old age or whatever, or get imprisoned even. I mean, people belong in prison.
Yeah.
So with the mentality of this group that cannot lose without being exposed, I don't see how they let Trump get back in there. And I think he seems like he's in a pretty good place right now.
Yeah.
I'd say he's never looked more mature as a politician. I'd say he's outshining the entire Democrat Party. Like, I think they're getting exposed left and right. And it'd be wonderful to have him back in office to kind of set things straight. But it's not going to be pretty because they can't lose.
Yeah.
If they lose, people are going to prison.
yep. Everybody's seeing it. Everybody is seeing it. You know, one of my favorite videos I've ever seen and posted. Here we go.
I had a dream the other night. I didn't understand. A figure walking through the mist with a rifle in his hand. His clothes were torn and dirty as he stood there by the bed. He took off his three-cornered hat and, speaking low, he said,
"We fought a revolution to secure your liberty. We wrote the Constitution as a shield from tyranny. For future generations, this legacy we gave to make you the land of the free and home of the brave. The freedoms we secured for you, we thought you'd always keep. But tyrants labored endlessly while your parents were asleep. Now your freedom's gone, your courage is lost, you're no more than a slave in your land of the free and home of the brave. You buy permits to travel, permits to own a gun, permits to start a business or build a place for one on land you think you own. You pay your yearly rent, but you don't have a voice in saying how that money's spent. Now your children attend a school that doesn't educate, and your Christian values can't be taught according to the state. You read about your current news in a regulated press and pay more taxes than you owe to that thing called IRS. Your money's no longer made of silver or of gold. You trade your wealth for paper so your life can be controlled. And you pay for crimes that make your nation turn from God in shame. Now you've taken Satan's number and traded in your name. You give your government control to those who could do you harm, so they could padlock churches and steal the family farm and keep the nation deep in debt while putting men of faith in jail, and then harass your fellow countrymen while your corrupt courts prevail. Your public servants don't uphold the solemn oaths they've sworn, and now your daughters visit doctors so their children won't be born. You send guns and artillery to foreign shore, and then you send your youth to slaughter fighting other people's wars. Could you regain the freedoms for which we fought and died, or have you lost your courage and your faith to stand with pride? Are there no more values for which you fight to save? Or do you wish your children to live in fear and be a slave? And people of this republic, it's time to rise and take a stand. Defend the Constitution, the supreme law of your land. Preserve your great republic and every God-given right. And let us pray to God to keep that torch of freedom burning bright.
Powerful. Absolutely powerful. Yep. Absolutely. Give me a second here. I'm going to go over and we're going to drop this over here. Yeah, we're going to drop this right in here. Pink. There we go. All right, back to it. American flag get put up in Indiana. I'm not taking down my flag. I'm not going to stop listening to the national anthem. I'm not changing anything that makes me an American. If you don't like it here, back up and get out. Look at that flagpole. I'd love to have a flagpole that big. Oh, especially where I'm at. Yeah. What do you notice about the average American girl?
Now, girl, I melt when you M-O-V-E. I love it, yeah, I love it when you get that beat. Boots on, stomp your feet. It's like you've been waiting on me to like you.
That's a girl.
Now, girl,
that's a girl. All right, this nut is going off breaking boxing icon. How can you call him an icon? I can't wait for Mike Tyson to knock him out. Jake Paul just went off at the crowd in New York City. Oh boy, let's see.
Hey, New York, shut the fuck up, New York. Hey, boo yourselves. Boo yourselves, New York. Hey, New York, New York, New York, you're just like Mike Tyson. You were good 20 years ago. Fuck you, New York. Fuck you. Dumbass Democratic City.
Well, I mean, I agree with that last statement, but I still think that Mike Tyson's going to knock him out. And I don't think it's going to be one of those, I honestly don't think it's going to be one of those promotional fights, where it looks like Mike's going to lose and then he doesn't. I think he's going to go in there and he's just going to knock this kid out. And it would be so great to see it happen in the first round. What video? You want what video? Which video? Hang on. I'm just waiting for her to respond. Oh. Okay, I got no response. So I'm hoping that it was the video that I already posted the link for. So, all right, here we go.
If you look behind me over my shoulder, you'll notice those fences and snowplows in place. We've actually watched all morning as they have started to bring in more metal fencing, more barricades, and these snowplows have been kind of navigating around those barricades and getting into place around the UC. Take a look at some of this video we got earlier this morning. You can see a lot of cars have been turning around already as they're met with these new closures that have been set in place overnight and early this morning.
I love democracy. Like, I wish I was going to the convention, but for the neighborhood, there's been like no communication and very little engagement of the people who are closest to it. The parking restrictions have changed 3 times in the last week on our block, and no one's like communicated to us that the protest route actually goes right in front of our building.
And that resident telling us that most of the information he's gotten actually is coming from us or other local news outlets. He says his hopes are that over the next few days, there's more direct communication from area law enforcement or even from the Secret Service. And really his concerns, Mugo Adrina, have been echoed by a lot of drivers and neighbors we've talked to in this area this morning, a lot of frustrated drivers, to say the least. We know security will just continue to get tighter as we approach opening day on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is it. That's our list. That's our feed for today. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything important here. This is the small group that showed up for the Harrison Walls in Beaver County, Pennsylvania, in a tent. It's a small tent. Yeah. Crazy. Awesome. Donald Trump just gave me a shout out repost on his True Social. He says Kamala Harris is an actual communist, price control and then gun confiscation and mass censorship, then open borders and skyrocketing housing costs and debt slavery. Get ready for America to be a totalitarian nightmare. We must vote Donald Trump 2024 to save America. Yep, that's true. All right. As a UPS driver passed out while behind the wheel before crashing into a bunch of trees due to heat exhaustion. Crazy. Yeah, those things aren't known for having air conditioning. Yeah, it's a two windows and one door open is pretty much AC. So it's a 2-1 air conditioning system. I used to have uh, uh, a Cycle 4 air conditioning. I had an old Ford Fairmont that with 4 windows down, you might catch a cool breeze. Yeah. So Chuck Calesto says, shock report, multiple law enforcement officers stepped forward revealing Kamala Harris was intoxicated in this video. Will be charged with a DUI if she's behind the wheel of a vehicle.
Because when we think about the strength of our democracy, I think that there's a duality to the nature of democracy. When it's intact, oh, it's so strong in terms of what it does to uphold and protect individual rights and freedoms. So strong in its nature. And it's very fragile. It will only be as strong as our willingness to fight for it. Because when we
the car didn't do 60 miles an hour, Richard. I was lucky if that old Ford Fairmont hit 40 or 45. Yeah. Carly Bonet says, damn, Donald Trump says, lightweight politician commentator Van Jones begged me while in the Oval Office and with tears flowing from his eyes to help get criminal justice reform approved by the United States Senate. I got it done with conservative help, and this lowlife Jones never once called to thank me or the others that helped for what we had done, along with opportunity zones, the long-term funding of historically black colleges and universities, and much more. I've done more for our black population than any previous president. Yeah, it's true. Hi, my name is Mike Gill, 244-6788. I know I'm blocked, and I clearly don't know how to research. I am a devout Catholic who believes in Flynn's one world, one religion, one God. I never mentioned that Jesus is Lord and Savior. I never mentioned how I should take up accountability for harming and abusing horses in the past. I never mentioned how I was banned from horse racing and how I was a greedy fat fuck who now runs smear campaigns on good people. Hi, my name is Mike Gill, state of corruption. I never shown receipts, only text messages. I'm Mike Gill, and I've never showed any police charges for a script keeper when I accused him of selling drugs and being a drug dealer. Hi, my name is Mike Gill. I never repented for forging signatures on mortgages and harming and abusing horses. Hi, my name is Mike Gill, and shit the bed in Arizona, and I need to Depends diapers because I drink heavily and am an alcoholic. Just repent, Mike. Ask Jesus for forgiveness. Reptilian statue dedicated to the ancient reptilian god Morop in Peru. Morop was known as the deity of the afterlife. Yeah, and the thing is that I was going through some stuff earlier, and the Pandora paper. Oh, I really hate it when. So footage from today in the Polish capital of Warsaw as MBTs have been loaded up on trucks. Meanwhile, keep updated. They're loading them up. Wonder what's going on over there for them to be loading them up in Warsaw. Yeah. This is in Beverly Hills. People going around with their Trump flags and everything else. Trump can win California. Yep. Let's see. There was a one down here on Gills that I'm trying to find, because I've tried to stay out of it. I really have. I've tried to be nice about it, but the fact of the matter is that I am getting watched. I am seeing, the script being attacked with no provocation whatsoever, and it is getting to be a little bit ridiculous. And so I've tried not to. Let my personal opinions and personal stuff in, but it's gone to the point now where things just kind of need to be put out there in a different way. And unfortunately, exposing people for the grifting that they're doing is kind of important. It's not something to be negated. And so if that means I got to step on a few toes, then I got to step on a few toes. But I'm going to find this post because it goes into the Pandora Papers and who has the Pandora Papers and why they have the Pandora Papers, and that Mike Gill doesn't have anything to do with them. That basically he's trying to find a way to save himself by associating with Donald Trump, when in all actuality, he doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. It's that simple. But I want to get this. I am going to find this. I am going to find this because I know it's here. Oh, why didn't I just type in duh? There we go. And I just go there. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's see. Where are you now? Come on. Damn, Script, you're out. You're definitely out posting a lot of people. This guy doesn't mess around. Okay, here we go. I think this is it.
He's like another.
Yep, there we go. All right, so here we go.
Your popcorn. So we've been doing a lot of exposure. I've been doing it on X, Twitter. We've put the videos up of the Flynn Bros Network. A lot of people are like, "Well, I like Flynn," and then when we explain things, they're like, "Oh my God." Well, let me introduce you to a guy named Mike Gildo, who piggybacks off of everything. This is what they call the Pandora's Papers. Okay, so we're gonna read a little bit real quick. The Pandora's Papers are 11.9 million leaked documents with 2.9 terabytes of data that the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, the ICIJ, published beginning on 3 October 2021. The leak exposed the secret offshore accounts of 35 world leaders, including current and former presidents, prime ministers, and heads of states, as well as the 100 business leaders, billionaires, and celebrities. The news organizations of the ICIJ described the document leak as their most expansive expose of financial secrecy, yet containing documents, images, emails, and spreadsheets from 14 financial service companies in nations including Panama, Switzerland, and the United Emirates. Okay, anyways, and the USA. So let's go into this. So let's fast forward, and we're going to bring it back. So there's a guy named Mike Gildo. Well, I call him Gildo because he's like another version of Phildo. They piggyback, and he just has these dreams of being rich again. This man was sued for defamation. He lost. He was sued by a governor, Sununu. Now, I'm not saying the guy's not corrupt, Sununu. I don't fucking know the guy. I just know the evidence that Mike put up, and he used to be buddy-buddy, and he was friends with these people. And then he turned on them, put up billboards, said they were involved with drug trafficking, but he never mentioned Pandora's box 17 years ago. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 6 years ago, 4 years ago, when the real Pandora's Papers came out, that's when Mike started saying, well, I got the Pandora's box. Well, here's the new twist. So we caught him. So this is what really happened. So he said door number 2. I'm going to read you what Mike Jocko said. Okay, so Mike Jocko basically says Trump has 3 doors to choose from. 1, open Pandora's Papers, not box, exposing the deep state, the actors, money laundering. 2, sign a deal with the deep state and step out of the press race and live your life as normal. 3, continue doing nothing and leads to assassination. He said door number 2. This is what he said. First of all, Mike Jocko, fucking grifting piece of shit. My man, I'll have you walking through fucking walls thinking you're Superman. Now, I called Mike on this. I said, oh, I'm never Trumper. I already knew it. They all do the same thing, guys. So then he backed it up. He was like, no, I support Trump. And he did all these fucking lives with Michelle Moore. They did all these live streams of how he's helping. And then he goes to Arizona, starts this whole fucking brokered convention shit with, I forget the fucking people. I don't even give a shit. It's all bullshit. To me, it's all fucking like stories, like, you know, like Days of Our Lives. Like, we just catch you motherfuckers. That's why you backed up. You said it. Trump took a deal. Door number 2. That's what Mike Gill said. Trump took a deal with the deep state. So once I called him out on this, then he backpedaled. They always back. Now back to your Pandora's Papers. We already knew about all these fucking people, man. We been knew about this shit. You wasn't. Y'all don't fucking research. Mike Gill's over there selling y'all a fucking pipe dream. And then this is why. Because they were all fucking connected. Every last one of them, all connected. But some of us call them out. Yeah, we call them all out once we catch them. And you can see everybody sitting in here. This is why the hornet's nest is fucking buzzing, right?
You get it? Do you get it, guys? You know, that's why they got to play the games that they play, because they don't want the exposure. They don't want to be exposed. They can't be exposed. They can't. Because if that happens, then everything that they, you know, have claimed is just going to be, yeah, you know.
I mean, are you gonna tell on me? Yeah. Huh? I mean, no, I ain't gonna tell on you, bro. As a matter of fact, I'm leaving. Where you think you going? Over little Michael house. What? You gonna tell on me, ain't you? I said I'm. Hey, what you doing? Oh, you slapped me, boy. My bad. It's a fly flying around here somewhere. I was just trying to.
Hey.
What?
We don't bark this early.
Who? Ruth.
What did I just say? We don't bark this early.
Ruth.
No.
I'm sorry. Hey, look, I know you're sorry for what you did, and I'm sorry for barking at you, but just remember, man, next time you chew up one of their shoes, let them know you did it. I got in trouble for that, okay? I love you. You know what I'm saying? You my brother. Cheer up. Let's go. You. I don't want it. Get it out of here. Oh, get it out. I don't want it. Get it out. Ugh, yucky. Nasty. I don't want to see it. Yucky. It's nasty. I want it out.
It's a pee.
Oh, is that my friend? Hold up. Oh, Charlie, Bobo, where y'all going? To the dog park. Okay, I'm coming. Hurry up. Okay, I'm coming. Hey, you need to take me to the dog park. I'm going. Hey, y'all wait for me. I'm coming, man. I'm coming. Tag. Oh, what? Stop, boy. What? Told you I didn't want to play no tag. Leave me alone. Stop. Tag. Ooh, put your paws up, bro. Dang, you want to fight over tag? Come on. Okay. I get it. You don't want to play tag no more. Okay, you sure you don't want to play tag no more? No more. Okay, all right. Don't eat it. You better not. Oh, what's that supposed to be? That ain't food. It's hard. I don't like that. I ain't eating that. This food right here, but this, no, that's nasty. I ain't eating that.
Thank you. Wait a minute. Ain't no thank you. Is that your breath? That's your breath. Oh, I'm about to pass out.
Animals that make our lives brighter, right? All right, guys, 3 hours, 7 minutes. That's all you're going to get for today. Remember, our Creator, our Father in heaven, He loves you. His Son, the Christ, that child born in Nazareth. He loves you. I love you. We'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.
you.